All right, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the No Name Wrestling Podcast. Let me push this up a little bit further. There we go. Push up a little higher. Back today, we're gonna have some fun conversations. Also, do a little mini game here in the beginning for you guys. Hopefully, you guys remember new start time every week now, 3 p.m. Eastern Time Zone, 12 Pacific.
Hey,
We decided to change the time, just better fits everybody's scheduling and everything. So we just started it last week, so I know it's kind of new and fresh for everybody. So hopefully you guys continue to remember, continue to watch. 3 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you guys remember that.
yeah, and we're not affiliated with WWE. We didn't sell out.
No. Speaking of that, CJ, don't believe anything Unreal says. I think Unreal is faker than the real wrestling is.
Hold on today, maybe
that,
today.
that show is so ass. I don't believe a word Triple H says in that show. It's so dumb.
We're gonna dive into it because I think it's interesting on both sides how people look at it. So once again, please make sure you guys subscribe, like, share, all that stuff for the pod, and interact in the chat with us as well. You know, if you guys have some questions you want to ask, we'll probably get some super chats in a little bit as well if you guys want to drop some stuff. But we're gonna start off with a little mini draft here in the beginning just for fun. Nate's the one who put it together, so I'm gonna let him explain it.
Very, very timely draft. So
Bad
the news has been going around on social media, unless you've been living under a rock. The Avengers are cooked. Thor is LeBron 2018. He is carrying that team, and Thor needs some help. So it is our job. We're gonna draft 3 wrestlers all time, any promotion, to help the Avengers out to go against Doctor Doom. So any 3 wrestlers all time, any promotion, any version of that wrestler. But once that wrestler is taken, they're off the board. So if you choose 2008 Chris Jericho, no other Chris Jerichos could be taken. So that is the draft.
I mean, are we doing it all together? Or are we doing it?
Individual.
Okay, because I mean, I know who the first 2 picks are. So
yeah, and we'll let we'll let the people decide who has the best team and whose team is
so everybody's team's individual. Okay.
Yeah, 3 each. 3, only 3. And we'll just go around. We'll start with Malik and we'll just.
So we're talking Avengers. I mean, I would gotta go Super Cena, man.
There's one. Yeah.
Super. He literally has Super in front of his name. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much better, honestly, you could really get. We've seen this guy. We saw him literally fight 2 people in an I Quit match and somehow still win. Like he literally got his ass beat 90% of the match and somehow miraculously still won. So I would have to say, Super Cena, man. He got to be in there.
All right, I'm going with the Tribal Chief.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm fucked. I mean, that's the top 2 picks right there. I'm fucked.
There's other picks.
There's plenty other picks. Yeah,
there's a lot.
I literally saw a meme the other day. It was from the last 40 minutes of Endgame, and it was like Captain on your left, and it opens up, and it's like Medo. It's Roman coming out. So I mean, those are obviously the top 2 picks. I mean, shit. I mean, I guess. I mean, I guess I'd take, if those 2 are already taken, I guess I'd take the Viper. It's a cool name for a superhero. I mean,
very cool.
Just like Falcon coming out of nowhere, you know. So I'll take the Viper. That's my first overall pick.
Okay, he's gonna be hugging the ring post, but it's all good. Give me first pick, man. Very slept on menace, in my opinion. Give me 2003 Kane.
Oh,
like
okay.
When he was the little thing over, setting people on fire, choke slamming people off the stage, electrocuted Shane McMahon's testicles. Give me that. Give me
that. Kissing Linda McMahon.
Well, if I'm gonna take Super Cena, then I gotta take 2014 Brock, bro, because he destroyed Super Cena. So if there's anybody if I gotta take Super Cena, I gotta take the guy who destroyed Super Cena. So I'll take Brock. 2014 though, to be clear.
Yeah.
All right, I want The Undertaker. So what iteration of The Undertaker do I want? And since it's like superpowers and super whatever, I'm going to go like corporate ministry Undertaker, Ministry of Darkness Undertaker, 98, 99 Undertaker. So the higher power was Vince, but, that iteration of The Undertaker.
Right, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Chat, if you think I'm taking Hulk Hogan in any version of any draft besides draft the one assiest wrestler in the world, number 1 pick Hulk Hogan, get the hell out of here. That's not happening. So I've got Randy Orton. I mean, got the Viper. I mean, I guess I'd have to pick someone who has literally been shown on screen to be literally indestructible, unless Thanos brings a toolbox. I'm gonna bring the Fiend.
It's a very good choice. Very good choice.
Viper and the Fiend.
Give me. You said you wouldn't draft Hogan, but somebody has to. I mean, he's not going to lose to Doom. He's going to absolutely refuse to lose to Doom.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you ain't taking Hulk Hogan, I will. Shit,
give me
trying to win.
I was trying to say,
give me.
I mean,
yeah.
If that's going to cause chat to vote for the winner, I don't want to win this fucking draft. So you can have him.
I'm trying to win the battle. I want to win the battle.
I'm trying to win the battle. Give me the 80s,
battle.
80s Hulk Hogan, prime 80s. Doesn't work for me, brother.
Here he comes.
Hogan.
Here he comes. All right, I'm coming, brother. I'm coming, brother.
80s. I said 80s.
Coming, yeah, in his 80s.
2000s.
Here we go. I'm coming, brother.
He was on
There we
cocaine.
go.
He had cocaine. He was fine.
Yeah, cocaine and steroids, but he's good.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan back in the day, bro. He ain't losing to nobody. So that's
yeah.
My last pick. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, but he can't tell Doom to let him win the fight, can he? Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, he could. Shit, he Hulk Hogan.
Doesn't work for me, bro.
Creative control. That might be the best pick, honestly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'll join the Avengers via creative control, brother.
I'm gonna say, so we can pick any variant. Let me see if I can be a little different. I got one person in mind, but I just want to make sure this before I decide my last pick. I got Super Cena 2014 Brock. I'll take a guy who's, I mean, we need some power, pretty indestructible. I'll take Andre the Giant.
Oh, okay.
Crypto said on your left and he spawns from hell. That ain't gonna work for me, brother.
I'll take Andre. We need size, power. I mean, there's probably maybe actually I don't know. Realistically, I don't know if there's anybody you can maybe other than Mark Henry. There's probably nobody you can name stronger than Andre the Giant. Like realistically, like strength wise.
Yeah.
No doubt. All right, I'm gonna go with a badass.
I should say Mark Henry. What the fuck?
I'm gonna go with 1998 WCW Goldberg. He's indestructible.
Ooh,
he doesn't take many L's. And make quick work of people. So I got Roman, Tribal Chief, 90s Undertaker, and then I got 90s Goldberg.
Yeah, that's a really good pick, actually.
That's a really good pick. Yeah.
Yeah. But imagine if Captain said on your left, green lasers shoot through the hole, and you hear Kurt Angle's TNA theme. Yeah, I'm taking peak Angle.
Oh my!
I'm gonna slip in some somas.
He's throwing people around like the Hulk.
Oh my God! Gonna be jumping off his shit.
Peak Angle was fair.
See, in this fight, you know, I got Kane. He's crazy. I got Hogan. He's like never putting nobody over. But like, give me probably the craziest motherfucker to ever grace a wrestling ring, create a promotion, write a story. Give me prime like 2000s out of his fucking mind Vince McMahon. I don't know what he's gonna do.
He's the Nick Fury. Like the Nick Fury.
He's gonna lead our team to victory. I don't know how. And I don't know if it's gonna be legal, but we're gonna do some damage with Doom.
Is this Durag Vince? Is this Durag?
Yes, yes. Just crazy out of his mind.
That's fair.
There you go.
Durag Jade.
You never know. You never know what Vince McMahon. You never know what Vince McMahon can do.
I should have drafted Durag Jade as my third pick. Doom would have ran away screaming.
Yeah.
So let us know in the chat, guys, who you feel has the best overall team.
Someone said New Jack.
Hurricane. Nobody drafted Hurricane. That's wild.
That would have been a good pick.
I mean, somebody said New Jack. Damn.
I know. I saw that. I saw New Jack. I was like, damn, that would have been a good one.
New Jack is a really good one. I didn't think
crazy.
New Jack is a really good pick. I didn't even think about that. I should have dove more into my psychology. I wouldn't think about New Jack. New Jack is a really good. If we're going based off of indestructible, crazy people, I mean, New Jack would have to be.
Yeah.
Got to be up there.
Yeah.
Mick Foley could have been in there too. Loves Pain.
Yeah.
Shit, I would have 3 iterations of himself, right?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Darby Allin could have been a nice pick too, bro. He ain't gonna die. Can't get. You got somebody in your team that can't be killed. I mean, shit.
Literally, that's why I picked the Fiend. He's Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a.
Unless Doom brings a toolbox.
A toolbox.
Or
2019.
Oh gosh.
I forgot about that too. Really.
I was confused for a second. He said
In
toolbox.
storyline, that's his one weakness. That's his kryptonite, the toolbox.
Oh God, what a stupid ass.
I mean, technically, I guess you could say that. Sure, yeah.
And black ink coming out
Black
of people's
ink.
head.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toolbox is definitely was.
And Goldberg. If my team goes against,
I got you, bro.
Goldberg. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
Yep.
We got a super chat.
I would say creative in general. So
Yeah. His weakness is a pen and paper.
An eraser.
semi-related, but Vince could pull off
Green Goblin. Yeah.
Yeah. Peak 2000 Vince.
over William Dafoe.
Oh no, not over William, but he'd be great. Like
Vince just comes out of the portal and goes, "Where you been?" and then walks back through the portal.
But somebody has another chat below that one. Yeah, that one.
Twitter.
Oh yeah.
It's like I guess this is like our. Is this our
That's
Avengers?
awesome.
Is this the no name
That's awesome.
Avengers right
The
here?
no name Avengers.
The no-name Avengers is
Twitter
crazy.
name, Greg. That's crazy.
Just Mo.
Dude, that is awesome. Kelder, that is the tweet of the month or the comment of the month.
Obviously, of course, Omar's the greatest.
Congratulations.
Just Mo is pretty good. Is pretty good.
Yeah, Just Mo is fantastic.
Twitter
Just
page.
is that the only one you had?
Yeah, that was it.
That's
Oh,
good.
okay.
That's funny.
I wasn't sure
That's
if that was
No.
that was pretty good. Though. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like that. With SummerSlam coming up, I want to ask you guys before we dive into the topic of the conversation. What would you guys consider if you had to pick one? What would be your GOAT SummerSlam match?
Ooh.
First one that pops into your mind.
Cena Punk. Oh, Cena Punk. Sorry, excuse me. Brock Punk 13.
That's really
Brock
good. That's what I was thinking too.
That's a really good one.
There's so many. You could go old school with the old cliche.
British Bulldog. I don't know, man.
I know. It's a GOAT. That's a really good one, but that's so cliche. I'm gonna go
Dolphin Ray.
recent.
Let me stop. Sorry.
Ooh. I mean,
Underrated,
some
not
good
the,
Summers-
underrated, not the GOAT.
yeah. Ray's got some great SummerSlam matches. I'm gonna go Cena Cody. That was a very good match.
It was.
It was a
Cena
very
Cody?
good story. Yeah, that was a very good match. Very good story. A little recent. I want to give it some love. That's before everything started to,
Brandon,
tank.
what if I did? Got a problem with it? Brandon Doman, what if I did pick? First of all, who's Brett Bulldog? I don't know who that is. Is that a fusion of Bret Hart and the British Bulldog?
Avenger.
I would say. Well, Jay, did you pick yours?
The one I always think of first when I think of SummerSlam matches is TLC 1. And maybe it's just because I lived through it and I was there for the hype. And, when you were living through that hype, you didn't know what was going to happen because it was such a new thing. And then when it happened, which obviously looking back, like I said, there are better matches. TLC 2 is twice the match TLC 1 is. But I'm just saying, living through the hype live and realizing how important that moment was looking back. Yeah, I always think of TLC first before I think of anything else.
My answer, the first one that always pops in my head would be Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Shawn Michaels,
Yeah.
return
Blue
match.
Jean Sean.
My
Blue
God.
Jeans,
That
Cowboy
SummerSlam
boots.
as a whole is just
That's probably
fantastic.
the best one.
HBK, Triple H, I think is still.
Yeah.
If I didn't pick that one, Cena and AJ would be up there.
Yeah.
Shout out Cena Bryan. I'll say Cena Bryan's
That's
up
a
there
good
too.
Cena and Bryan would be really good. If G was here, he of course say the Fatal 4-Way. With Braun.
Fatal 4 is so good.
Fatal 4
and
was
the-
good though. It was good though. I won't lie.
I mean, the best pre-show match I think WWE
Wasn't
has ever put
Balor
on.
and Seth at SummerSlam too. So you'd probably pick that one.
Yeah,
Twice.
That was
yeah.
what Balor-
And
yeah, he
23.
would. He would.
23
No.
slept on as being pretty freaking good too.
Yeah,
I was
well,
talking about the time he won his only world championship.
Oh yeah.
there's a couple of good ones. The custody ladder match of Dom. That was Eddie and Ray.
That was a really good one.
That match was
Undertaker
looked
Day
at as a
Usos.
meme, but if you set aside the story, that match was just really good.
It's a
In
really good
general.
match.
Edge
really
Taker
good
Hell in a
match.
Cell. There's a lot.
Oh yes.
So
There's a lot
who
New
would
to-
be,
Day, New Day Usos
Yep.
on the pre-show. That was really good.
Who would be your guys' Mr. SummerSlam?
Good question.
Good
That's a very
question.
good question. Because the cliche is Brock, but I feel like I
Right.
think people have surpassed
Yeah, I think
him by
there's
now.
a tier of three. There's a tier of three.
Brock
Brock,
would be up there because he's got a lot of good
He's
SummerSlam.
up
Low
there.
key,
Yeah.
Cena.
Low-key, I
Cena's
wanna
on
put
fire
Seth
at
up.
SummerSlam.
Seth is
I want
good
to
up
put Seth
too.
up there.
I think of Seth a lot when I think of SummerSlam. Yeah.
Yeah, he has
Let me
a
go
lot of
through
good
because
SummerSlams.
Brock has the match with The Rock was really good.
Angle.
Kurt Angle was
Angle
really
one.
good.
Then he came back 2014. Cena.
Orton's
the
had a
Fatal
lot.
Four-Way. Roman.
I mean,
the second one.
4-way. Yep.
The 4-way. Undertaker.
Cody.
Last man standing.
The Rollins one in 2019 was really good, bro.
Yeah, that was underrated. Very good.
Yeah, Brock, he's up there, man. Brock's up there.
He's definitely up there.
He has 2 returns at SummerSlams, 21 and last year.
Yeah, that's true too. Seth is up there too. Seth's had a lot of good matches. Seth's up there.
Seth's yeah.
Bret Hart would be up there too. I think he's had a lot.
Yeah.
Cena as well. Cena's like 2011 to 2016 is unreal.
Yeah. Got some good matches from SummerSlam.
If you were curious, the Google AI result, which obviously pulls from websites and forums, and it lists Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, The Undertaker, John Cena, and Edge as like the top 5 SummerSlam performers.
Edge?
Punk says Edge boasts an incredible 12-2 record across 14 appearances.
Oh, that's kayfabe.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
the only 2 matches I can think of is the TLC and the Undertaker match that like really stand out for Edge.
Matt Hardy wasn't too bad.
Brock Lesnar has the most SummerSlam main events with 9.
Yeah.
Was that Brock?
Yeah. I know that one.
Edge and Rollins was good in 21.
I'm trying to think of
Edge and Rollins was cool.
Orton.
I don't think.
What does Orton have? Yeah.
Well, he won the world title. He won the world title at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
First time.
Got the Cena matches.
Hogan.
Isn't that when he had his? Yeah, the Undertaker is what I was going to say.
That match was whatever. Yeah.
Feud Taker and then
Hogan.
That was a better feud than it was a match.
Hogan's last match, brother. Well, in the
yeah.
Cena, the first Cena match at SummerSlam was really good.
The last one was whack.
Yeah.
Other
than that, I can't think of it.
Yeah. Brock was a big fight.
I would say nothing wrong. Brett versus Bulldog. I mean, we talked about that on another episode. We did top 10 SummerSlam matches. I think, even though Bulldog was cracked out, it was still a great match. I mean,
fantastic match.
Yeah.
I would say, to give a cliche answer, I would probably say Brock, because the more I'm thinking about it, I probably would say he might have the most consistent best matches and moments, because he got returns, the whole Cena thing alone. I mean, that's kind of, that is a match, but the moment of like destroying Cena, like we never saw something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
By the way, someone called it out in chat. I do wish G was here. I want to hear his take on Sammy versus Finn at SummerSlam.
I told I didn't tell G, but I'll tell everybody here. I don't think it'll be a good match. Let me just say that.
Well, yeah,
it'll be a very good match. But realistically, it doesn't matter who wins, because whoever wins, they win.
It doesn't matter. No, that's doesn't matter.
I'm glad he's on the card. He deserves to be.
Yeah, he does. But I don't see. Hypothetically, if Cody wins the title back, then I don't see him dropping it immediately, and I don't see Punk dropping the title either. So.
Honestly, I don't know if we're getting into this today, but I am just so underwhelmed. Even though when you look at the card, it seems like it's great, and I think the matches are going to over-deliver, but
I like the card,
though. The card is good, but the build has just been, it's just there's been so many questionable booking decisions.
I think I don't want to say we live in that era. I don't want to put it that way, but I think we're more so now, and we're more so now in like a time where it's like I don't think they really care about like the builds. You know what I mean? They want the social media clicks. They want the the social media buzz and stuff. I think that's the type of like audience they're gravitating towards too. You know what I mean? Like because if you see like, for example, I don't know if you guys like say like you missed the show or something like that, right? You missed the show. You ever seen a clip on social media that looked really good? And you're like, oh shit, maybe we'll go back and look at it. And then you went back and look at it, and you was like, that was it. Like that's what they like. Social media can make things look really good. They can edit like this. That's why WWE's production's always been good, because if you look at a promo package before a match, they can make a promo package look 10 out of 10. There's plenty of promo packages I've seen where we all have watched matches, and in our minds we're like, bro, if real fans knew this shit was ass, bro, like they should be making this look way better than what it was. So,
that's Cena Orton
package.
I think that's what they're kind of looking towards. Like the builds. WWE is in a position where I think they feel comfortable, where it's like they know they have a fan base that is going to watch no matter how good or bad the shows are. They're like so obsessed, I think, in this modern era, trying to get the newer fans gravitated. That's why I think they do the Unreal documentaries. That's why they do the social media stuff, because they want non-wrestling fans to look at what they're doing and then be like, oh, that looks interesting. Let me go over there and watch. So I think that's kind of the era that we're stuck in right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, new and lapsed fans too.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, what you said is kind of the nail on the head because Joshua was 9 years old going on 10. He still loves watching. He literally plays with nothing but his wrestlers nowadays. I'm going to tell you guys, he's got a little notebook and he books his own shows with his wrestlers. And then he finishes the show and he goes to his notebook and he records the results. And then he goes back and looks through his results. It's really funny. But he's into it. If he didn't, but if he wasn't looking forward to the shows every week, honestly, I might be taking a break just because there's so much underwhelming about WWE. Like Cody and Punk, this whole build has been so underwhelming to me. The only way they can save that at SummerSlam is for Cody to turn heel. And even then, they got to do it right. They are literally, I was so excited when Baron Corbin, because you guys know how I feel about Baron Corbin. Nate too. I mean, we all like Baron Corbin, but you guys know how I feel about Baron Corbin. I was so excited for this big triple threat with Baron, Trick, and Mello. And they just left Mello's ass out. And now you got to make me hate on Baron Corbin having a championship match at SummerSlam because Mello should be there. Mello should be there over Corbin at the very least as a triple threat. And he's not. And if you're Mello right now, what on this earth is keeping you in WWE? Like you were left off of Mania. Your momentum was completely run into the ground and murdered. WWE should be held accountable for capital murder for killing Mello's momentum when they did. And now he's not on SummerSlam either. And he's being replaced by a guy you released last year when he's had nothing to do with this story this whole time. And now you bring him in at the end and throw him into the SummerSlam match and leave Mello out. I literally have no idea what they're thinking with this.
I don't know if like Mello has like heat backstage or I don't know what it is, man. But like I don't know. Man. His booking is weird this year because he was left out of the Rumble when he was U.S. champion. Could have easily had a spot. Then he was literally sacrificed before WrestleMania to drop the title in a feud in a match that he could have been in, and was left off WrestleMania again for the second year in a row. And now he's left off SummerSlam in an obvious match that we thought was going to happen. So I don't know if they just don't believe in him anymore or he did something to piss somebody off. I don't know.
They're going to unreal us. That's all it is. It's all for Unreal, brother.
You think he'll get released?
No, I don't think he's getting released. It's all part of it. It's all part of the show. I think Triple H is going to. I think they're going to pull the trigger like a year and a half later and be like, "See, we built this for so long, and our fans were so patient with us." Like, no.
And there's no problem with building people up, but like they're not showing us anything that they want to build him up. That's the thing. They're not.
There's
showing
no progression.
It's like there's nothing there to show us. Like, hey, there's something there for Mello. You guys should believe or care enough. Like they haven't given us a reason.
I'm all for like the underdog and being kind of held back and eventually getting their spot. But the way Triple H does it, he waits years, like literal years to push somebody. Like there's so many people we could name right now who we've been, LA Knight being one of them, like that we've been waiting so long for them to get the push, but they've never gotten the push. Like Cross was another one. We're waiting for him to get the push. He never got the push. They gave Sammy the title, then they took it away from him. So it's like, I feel like a lot of people are in that position where they could make them stars and they could easily tell a story, but they take too long to pull the trigger and they just kind of forget, or they just altogether just don't want to tell that story. They get lazy and they get new shiny toys that they re-sign that they released a year ago. And now they're trying to make up to those people, but then you're going to end up releasing the people you're screwing right now, and then they're probably going to bring them back, and it's just going to be a cycle of people not being used and them trying to do good for the people that they let go.
I don't know why we can't go back to a time frame or era where you can have a perfect balance of the old guys and the young and upcoming guys to be positioned in main event slots, the ones that you want to be there, because not everybody's going to have that spot, but like. You don't have to push Cody, Punk, Roman out of those spots, but you also want guys like Breaker and Oba and Trick and all these other guys to feel equal to these guys. So when they're in that spot, it feels right. It feels authentic. And it's like they either take too long to do it or it's like they backtrack and they kind of put them in different spots that it's like it's very confusing. So some of these people I still believe will get there eventually because they're not going to really have a choice. At some point, you're going to have to make new people, but it's just like how much longer do you want to take for it to happen? You know what I mean? Like you're talking about the future and stuff, and that's great, but it's like I'm a big believer, and sometimes you got to take chances, man. I don't like the narrative of don't push somebody because the fans might switch up. Realistically, we live in an era where people are going to find ways to not like somebody who gets pushed once they get to that spot. I don't think that's a reason you should stop pushing somebody. You know what I mean? If somebody has it and somebody has the potential, you got to capitalize on that. You know, you want to make stars in the company. That's the whole point of it, you know? So if you have somebody that you believe in, give them a shot. And sometimes it might not work out, and that's okay, you know, but at least you gave it a shot. At least you tried, you know, sink or swim. Like at least you gave them an opportunity for it. You know, when Randy first won the world title, you know, he wasn't ready for it. That's why he didn't have it long, but eventually he got there. And the second time he got it, he was more than ready for it. Some people were more than ready from the beginning. People like Kurt and Brock, you know, who were kind of just thrown in there in the very beginning. Those guys were able to thrive, you know, but those guys had what it took to thrive in the beginning. You know, they have it. You know, some people just have it. And I feel like if you're going to wait for so long, you're either taking the chance that people might wanting to leave and go to somewhere else, or the momentum is never going to be the same. We've seen people like that, you know, where it's like, okay, yeah, you gave them that opportunity now, but it's like, you know, it's 4 years past that time, man. We don't really care about that no more. We're investing into other people now, you know? So that's the biggest fear I had with LA Knight. You know, it's like, if LA Knight gets it, it'll be a cool moment for him, but like, how much are people really going to care opposed to how they would have cared back in 2023?
Yeah. And the frustrating thing is this was such a problem under Vince McMahon, and it's an equal or maybe even a bigger problem under Triple H, because the talent with these guys is so much greater. Because we've seen this story play out so many times. Braun Breaker, Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, guys who had the heat, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, guys who had the heat and had the momentum in your hands, and you waited for so long that all the heat slipped through your fingers, so that by the time you actually do something with them, people have already moved on to something else. And one guy that you haven't mentioned that is also front and center with how bad they are at this at SummerSlam. And I just want to bring this up. We don't have to talk about it if you guys don't want to, but I feel the need to bring it up as part of this conversation, because Dom Mysterio went from being John Cena's last championship opponent to a match with Danhausen at SummerSlam. Look, I think Danhausen is overhated on the internet because I feel like he knows what his role is, and I think he does it well. If you don't find him funny, Nate doesn't find him funny. I think he's funny on and off. I don't always think he's funny, but that's not really here nor there. We all understand what Danhausen's role is. We understand what he's there for. Triple H doesn't seem to understand that, because a guy like Dominic Mysterio, who's an internationally beloved part of your roster at this point, who had one of the most memorable WrestleMania moments in the history of the show 2 years ago, who is literally in a storyline with your women's world champion, and who a lot of people look at and say, Money in the Bank this year, world title next year. We're having big thoughts with Dominic Mysterio. A guy like that doesn't belong in a SummerSlam match with Danhausen. I'm sorry. He just doesn't. This is not the spot for Dan. Danhausen belongs at the third segment of the show in the backstage in his lab doing silly shit with Kit Wilson. That's where Danhausen belongs. This is not where Dominic Mysterio belongs. And then you've got Braun Breaker playing third fiddle to Austin Theory and Maxine Dupree in the Vision. Oba is the only one, and he really shouldn't even be in this match with. And Trick's doing okay too, but again, Trick is involved with a guy at SummerSlam that shouldn't even be there. So I don't even want to think about that at this point. And Oba is the only one doing okay, but even he shouldn't really even be in this match. He should be fighting for a world title, but you can't because you're too scared to put him against guys like Roman or guys like Punk or whatever the reason is. There's so much booking with this show to me that not only is it booking that I don't like or that I don't enjoy, it's just booking that I can't wrap my head around. And I think that's worse than bad booking, because at least bad booking, if you understand what they were trying to do, you can wrap your mind around it. I can't wrap my head around where they're going with SummerSlam. This doesn't feel like a SummerSlam. This feels like a Night of Champions or anything else. So it just doesn't have that feeling of SummerSlam, and it's because they're putting these guys in positions for one reason or another that they don't need to be there. So every time I watch this SummerSlam, or when I watch it live with Joshua and I'm seeing these guys come out, I'm not going to be thinking about the spectacle or the moment or the match. I'm going to be thinking about, I still don't understand why this guy is here. I still don't understand why this man is doing this match or this man is in this spot. That's all I'm going to be able to think about.
I think the biggest problem nowadays is like, especially this time right here, is the log jam of bad luck that they've had coming into SummerSlam and out of 2025. Like, look at Seth Rollins alone with his injuries and whatnot. He had the Roman stuff that was still open. The Punk stuff never ended. The Vision stuff never ended. He got injured. So it's just like we got to go finish out Seth Rollins's creative for the last 2.5 years since coming back, which kind of puts a logjam on that main event scene in a way, and it trickles down. You got guys like Ober and Trick who are new and fresh, but it's just not enough. Braun was sacrificed for the Seth Rollins of it all in a way, if you think about it, and then he finds himself in the tag title match because that's what's left over for him. I do feel that Breakker isn't in a bad spot. He's currently in a bad spot, but he still has the trajectory to get where he's going, but it's just not his time, and that's unfortunate and makes it look like it's bad. But I just think there's like a log jam due to the bad luck of injuries that they have to flush out for whatever reason to build to whatever upcoming stories that they probably foresee as well. Like on paper, Cody and Punk is new, but they've been building it for quite a bit. But it's just on the Raw side of things with Roman and Seth. That's where I'm the least interested from a main event scene. And I will say, to your point, Dom, I think is overrated in 2026 at this point. I think you're kind of yearning for the 2024 Dom Mysterio potential. But really, what has he done since WrestleMania 41? He was given the IC title. What did he do with it? He had one good match with Cena, which was built around atmosphere in a fucking hot-ass crowd in the John Cena's retirement tour. He wins it back, and then what does he do? Nothing. He returns it to Penta, and then Penta goes on a pretty good IC run. He's the AAA champ. He's killed by the Bass guys, El Grande from an interest level on AAA. In the Judgment Day, he's the third interesting thing. It's just, I don't know. You can blame booking, but Dom hasn't evolved at all. Is that on purpose to make him evolve, to take 2 steps back so he can evolve past his current iteration?
Yes, I think they did on purpose.
But I don't know. I just feel like there's like this log jam of old ideas that they are slowly flushing out due to bad timing of injuries and just staleness.
Nate, can you follow up on what you were about to say? Because I had that thought in my head the other day, but I want to hear if your thoughts match what I was thinking.
Yeah, I definitely think after he got the babyface reactions at WrestleMania 41, I think they slowed his momentum down on purpose because they didn't want him to be a babyface and they had other plans. And I think Liv's injury really hurt those plans too. And the whole stuff with Roxanne, because I don't know what they were trying to do with that. And by the time Liv came back, they kind of like killed that idea. And so Dom's just been in this weird place. But I really think they looked at the babyface reactions and were like, that's not what we want. We still want him to be a heel. So I think they purposefully slowed him down. And ever since then, he's just kind of been in this weird place.
But to my point, it's like a log jam of an old idea. What are they trying to flush out with the Judgment Day? Because that's been on hold and waiting forever.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't give you an answer, bro.
I don't know. Someone in chat said it best, really, that represents this entire Mania. The Bellas have a match at SummerSlam. Javon Evans and Carmelo Anthony. There was no room on the card for them.
Carmelo Anthony's crazy.
Yo, Carmelo Anthony's gonna be there. It's crazy.
Sorry, Hayes. I'm so mad I can't think straight. Well, Carmelo Hayes and Javon Evans are not on the card, but the Bellas
or Nuggets version. Which one?
It's insane to me.
It's Oklahoma City, Carmelo.
Yeah. Okay, see Carmelo.
I understand everybody's perspectives. You all make some really good points. I think a big part of this modern era too is a big depression that a lot of people have. Going back to Jade's point a minute ago when he talks about them not building new stars, and it's kind of like we're back in the Vince era. I think if you watch NXT, a lot of us felt when Triple H came to the main roster, a portion of that was going to come over. So it was like the stars that we saw created down there and, the newer stars that we could get on the main roster. We thought it was going to be like either very much like NXT or it was going to be so much different. And it started off really good. It started off for about, I would say like 2 years where it was like, you saw things that were very promising and then it just switched, So now it's just like, a lot of us are kind of confused how it's kind of like backtracked again, or it's kind of like back where we didn't want it to be after we got out of the position that we were in. It's kind of just like now we're back in this spot where it's like we were out of this spot and now we're in it again. It's like, how do we get here? So WWE unfortunately goes through these people, not even just WWE. I think every wrestling company is like this. every wrestling company is going to go through a highs and a low, right? It's going to go through a period of time because we've all watched long enough where it's like there's times through WWE that we can point out that weren't good, and then there are times that we thought were incredible. That's why we're all fans at the end of the day, because the great times are the ones that really hooked us, and then if you're really hooked, you watch the bad shit. It's kind of just like it's bad, but you can't distance yourself from it just because you've been too attached to it now for so long. So it's like you're still invested, whether it's WWE, AEW, TNA, or any wrestling. If you just like wrestling in general, it could be any company. Like some people take breaks. I've never been one of those fans. I just personally can't exclude wrestling from my life. Like I need some form of wrestling in it, don't matter what company it is. I need something, so I've gone through periods where I might not like watch a weekly show because I feel like I'm not going to miss much, but I'll instantly go through social media to see what happens. I'll watch all the pay-per-views and stuff. Like I may not be as dedicated as I was back then. Like there was a point in time in my life where it was like, if I had a date with a girl or an opportunity to watch a wrestling show, I might pick the show, bro, depending on how good the show was, like it might be a little bit more important to me. So now it's kind of like, if I miss it, I can go back and look at the highlights. Social media helps with that too. I go back and look at the highlights. I'll catch, something crazy. If I see something crazy that I really like, then I'm like, I got to go back and look at the whole thing. So we just live in a different time where it's like, I think the Triple H hype from NXT was so big that there are many people, and G was one of them too. He spoke about it before on the pod that he thought NXT was going to be just like the main roster when Triple H came over. That's kind of what he expected. And I think some people expected that. And I still don't think there are some people that understand there's a difference between NXT and the main roster. So,
yeah, no, it's
listen, bro. Sometimes there's more things more important, bro.
No, I got it. I miss the days when we were having podcast episodes entitled Triple H is Cooking, because back then he was. Now food's off the oven and he's scrubbing the floor.
What's crazy though, back then, even back then though, like when we were talking like the highs, there were people who said we were glazing too much, we were people who said that, oh man, we overhyping it too much now, but it's like it was good though. So it's like
it was good.
There's no in between balance, you either glaze too much or you hate too much. It's like no in between,
And I think there's a lot to be said about what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago about how much impact the TKO partnership has had on the quality. It also, because there for a couple of years we didn't really have things.
Let me ask you guys this. This is a question for everybody before we dive into this unreal stuff. Let's say Triple H was the chairman. He had full control over everything. There's no TKO. It's just him. How different do you think things would be right now? Do you think there would be a major difference, or you kind of think it would be the same a little bit, or do you think it would be just as bad?
I think the stars would be the stars. I think guys like Roman, Cody, Punk would still be in the place that they're in. I do think that there would be more care and attention to the women's roster, at least. The tag teams have been questionable this whole time. The tag teams was always the Achilles heel ever since Triple H took over.
Not a tag.
So the tag teams, I can't really say here or there whether those would be better. I feel like the mid-card scene would have more, because when you watch Raw, literally 2/3 of the time of the show, between the opening segment, a match somewhere on the card, a mid-show segment, is dedicated to not just the main event for the champion on Raw, but the main event for the champion on SmackDown. Yeah. They devote so much time on the weekly shows to the people that are in the main event. Even if Cody and Punk right now are supposedly SmackDown superstars, they devote so much time on Raw recapping and telling that story. And you could do that on Twitter. You could do that on TikTok. That doesn't need to happen on Raw. And that takes away so much time from guys on Raw that have cooled off so much because there's not room for them on the show. Guys like Javon Evans spring to mind, or Dom being in a feud with Danhausen. It literally feels like not only is TKO making WWE prioritize these main eventers, the guys that make the money, the guys that are going to sell the tickets, but not only that, it feels like, and I can't say that this is true, but to me, it feels like there is an internal pressure from TKO on Triple H and WWE to say, making these main events feel important is not enough. You can make them feel more important by mitigating and minimizing the stuff that's happening on the lower and mid card. Because attention you're not paying to this stuff down here, you can now pay upwards to the main event. That's seriously what I think is going on. I think TKO is telling them, look, I know you have to make a show. I know you have to fill 3 hours, but just make sure that the good majority of that is towards your guys. And the ad revenue. I don't think the ad problem would be as bad if TKO wasn't around.
Oh, yeah.
But I think TKO is feeding that down to Triple H to say, look, this is exactly how many minutes you need to feed into our advertising space. I don't care what you have to do with your matches. Just make sure you cut around this advertising space.
So you think TKO per se is telling the creative in Triple H, like, these are things that you need to make sure happens, and then you can do whatever else you want in between that, but this has to go down. So you think Triple H has to find a balance to please, all right.
Yeah. I don't think anyone from TKO is in the boardroom writing on that stupid whiteboard they show on Unreal. I don't think anybody from TKO is doing that. But I do think that when the guys that do write on the whiteboard are meeting in the meeting room, what is being cut out of the presentation on Unreal is right before they start their conversation, Triple H passes along a note to everyone and says, this is how much time TKO says we need to devote to Cody and Punk this week. How do we make that work? I think those are the conversations that are happening in the boardroom, because I think that's what all TKO cares about, the people that sell shirts and the people that make money.
What about you, Ryan? What do you think? If Triple H was fully in charge, you think it would be different, or you think it's going to be the same?
Well, he loves his 5-card PLEs, right? So less would be more with him. So I'm not sure how many guys would get opportunities, but I feel like the weekly TV would be better because he would devote more time to if you think about it, right? Like he used to do, think what he just took over in 2022, those U.S. title things he did with Ciampa and Mustafa Ali, and just have meaningful TV matches. I think the week to week would have a little bit more bite to it instead of just being filler and, so to speak, maybe less promo time. Let's like, hey, you get 6 minutes of a promo. Well, you got to stretch it to 12. There would hopefully be less, I don't know if the right words, aura farming. He'd be maybe more focused with his daily minutes on TV. All right, get through your stuff, get to your point, and then just like kind of, because we want to allow more wrestling on the show. I feel like wrestling on the show is kind of missing right now. If you look at like an NXT, it's very wrestling heavy, even though the matches are very like orchestrated to be good or whatever. But those guys are getting built and put over via the wrestling. Raw, SmackDown, it feels like these guys are reliant on their star power, and they just go out there and, if you think of like Roman and the Jalen Brunson thing, literally do nothing and just star power out there, and then just don't have any evolution in their characters or whatnot. And then we got to have the matches. All right, we have 6 matches for Raw. Let's divvy it out to what's left with the ad revenue. And it just feels like the wrestling part has taken a back seat. But if you could look back to 2022, 2023, where he took over, he hyper-focused the wrestling and then had the characters fit in. Now it's like the characters are there. They're established. We got to give them their time to justify their contracts a little bit, to Jay's point there. And then the wrestling focus takes a back seat as a way. So maybe
to Ryan's point
would be something like that.
Yeah, to Ryan's point, because TKO probably has no idea NXT exists, NXT doesn't get the same hand-me-down notes from TKO. So Shawn Michaels is able to do what he wants to do. And NXT is back to being the best weekly show on WWE television now because of that.
If you look at the resume of matches, especially on the ladies' side this summer, it's been really strong and built around like natty stuff with Jada Parker, Kendall Gray, stuff like that. So they're slipping in the veterans, but just the hyper focus of that 4-way. They probably had like a 20-minute segment with 2 segments put together, and then what's her name gets hurt, and they just make it a pretty freaking very good match out of the blue. So it's just like they're just focused on the wrestling because their crop of roster is so new. So they establish them with the wrestling. Now it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just they're too reliant on the star powers, and the star power is not evolving, which kind of makes it a little monotone on the week-to-week TV, in my opinion.
Nate, what about you? What's your answer?
Man, fuck Triple H. No, I'm playing. I think Triple H, I think it would have looked more like 2022, 2023-ish. Like, I think we would get definitely an emphasis on the wrestling. I still think factions would be a big part of the programming. I don't know about the women's tag team division and the tag team division in general. Like, the men's tag team division's been on and off since Triple H took over. The women's tag division's it's been good like one time, and that was for like 3 months when Triple H took over. So I really don't know what he would have done, but I definitely know a lot of the mid card, because if you look at 2024 Raw, that mid card scene, they always got time. Sheamus, Pete Dunne, Ludwig Kaiser, like Ivar, Bronson Reed, those guys always got time. They got time to wrestle, to put over their wrestling, and through that, their characters would go over. And I think we would have a lot less talking. Not to say that promos wouldn't be a big thing, because promos are very important in wrestling.
They're a part of wrestling,
And it's Triple H, and he's Mr. Open the Show with a 20-minute promo.
Yep.
But I think it would be good. We probably still would have low points, like Judgment Day versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens every week. Like, it happened.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a lot more emphasis, like Ryan said, on the wrestling. And I think the people below would get a lot more time. And it wouldn't just be like, let's show Cody for 60% of the show, and then we'll give scraps to everyone else. I think people would equally have a chance to shine, and we wouldn't be seeing people waste away in catering. I don't think Johnny Gargano would be laying down on his stomach every week. Like, Johnny
paid to be a stump.
He'd probably be like
What are you talking about?
He gets paid for that shit, but he probably like. Someone like Johnny would probably be like a multi-time mid-card champion at this point. He would be wrestling his ass off every week. And that's what we got in 2022. Like, there was like at least a 15-minute main event every week, like at least 15-minute minimum. So I don't know. We can get into the Unreal stuff, because they did not mention TKO at all in Unreal, which is very interesting.
Yeah,
it's very interesting that they never touched on it.
Yeah, somewhere in Triple H's email inbox.
I think
somewhere in Triple H's email inbox, there's an email from TKO that says, "Who's Johnny Gargano?"
I think one thing too that they get you in this modern era of the TKO stuff is, like, majority of the time, maybe not all the time, but majority of the time, I feel like the opening and the closing segments for Raw and SmackDown are pretty good. Like, the opening segment, whether it's a promo or a match, delivers. The ending shows always feel like, okay, that's how you end the show. Everything else in between, though, is the major issues. The in between stuff, the backstage segments, the promo segments. There were no women's matches on Raw last week. No women promo segments. No women. Nothing.
Maxine
on a 2.5-hour show Raw. Like, that's crazy. What are we? We're still in the era.
Champion?
Where's Sol Ruka been?
Liv's your world champion. They didn't have Liv on the show.
She was on the show, but she did like some backstage stuff.
Yeah,
like backstage.
And Sol Ruka was advertised for a match next week. Didn't have a match this week.
There was no women's matches. There were no women promo segments in the ring. Like, nothing like that.
Io Shirai maybe is your third most popular star on your entire roster. My thoughts about Io as a performer notwithstanding, Io is your third most popular star on the roster. You didn't have a minute for her on the show because TKO doesn't think she sells t-shirts.
So let's go into this. Let's go into
Does
this.
she have a t-shirt? That's a good question, actually.
She probably might.
All right, go ahead.
Definitely has a t-shirt.
I'm sure there's a silhouette of her doing this somewhere on a t-shirt.
I don't think I've ever seen one. Anyways, continue. Sorry.
You know, to be fair, I don't know if she's ever come out with her merch either. Like,
yeah, right. Like, I don't think she has merch.
Probably sucks. That's probably why.
She might have. I'm sure she'll have merch on the shop, but like, I've never seen her wear her own shirts to the ring. Like, I've never.
I remember when she came out in those Daisy Dukes, and the internet lost their minds.
Shout out Ross. Shout out Ross. He lost his mind.
So to go into I don't know if you guys have seen the new season or if you guys have watched any of the season.
I've seen clips.
Yeah, I watched.
Unfortunately, I watched it.
So to dive into some things, Unreal is an interesting thing because there are people who look at it differently. Some people like the behind the scenes stuff. Some people have always been fascinated with what goes on behind the scenes. How are things really put together? You know, like. Just things like that. You know, if you watch for years, you're always kind of interested, like, how did that happen? Was that real? Was that not real? Some people think, you know, it's peeling the curtain back too much and they're exposing too many things. It's breaking kayfabe if you still believe in kayfabe. That's still a thing today. Some people think it's exposing too much of the business. I've seen some interesting. I think this is like a pro and a con. Because if you're not a wrestling fan and you watch the documentary, it could interest you to maybe like want to start watching. So I get that. If you're a real wrestling fan who's been watching, then it might not interest you because you don't want to see certain things, or you might not believe what you even see. And I think that's the interesting part of the documentary. It's like, I've seen people talk about this all over social media, so I'm just going off what I've seen. It's like when they show something bad, then that's for them to point a reason like, oh, this is why the show sucks right here. Yeah. When they show something good, then there are people who still don't believe that's actually what they're telling us because it was a good idea. So they're like, oh, that's no way they would come up with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's really no in-between balance, I feel. So it's like if they show the bad stuff, the stuff that, you know, we kind of speculated that was bad, or they actually tell us like, hey, this is who came up with the idea, then people instantly jump on it and like, this is why the show sucks. This is why WWE sucks. But when they talk about the things that were good, or like somebody came up with a good idea, then people say it's cap. Well, then that's not true. So that's what I've seen all over social media. It's like there's no in-between balance. Like you don't believe the good stuff. You believe the bad stuff though, and you feed into it. So Unreal is an interesting documentary, of course. There's always things that they're going to show you that they want to show you because it's a documentary. So they can cut out whatever they want to cut out. They can put in whatever they want to put in. It's their own documentary. You know, it's not like a live stream where it's like, you know, it's non-edited and stuff like that. It's an edited process of a documentary. So I guess what goes into it is we'll go individually. What do you guys believe in Unreal? Do you think it's all fake? Do you think that there's some truth to it, or how do you personally feel about it? Because I think it's interesting how everybody's got different feelings about it. Ryan, what do you think?
It's like the new work, right? It's they're not going to put out an unedited version of what the WWE is behind scenes,
right?
Like I think Cena in it was kind of interested, but also felt so fake.
He's such a professional bullshitter.
Yeah, that's like his part was like I think out of the was it 5 episodes or whatever. I think out of the 5 episodes, his journey to Gunther, like that whole Gunther Saturday Night's Main Event, was probably the most invested I probably was watching it, just because there was a little nostalgia to it now. You're just like, all right, his last night, what's his body language walking around the ring? That part I find interesting. Yeah, of course, it's like when Triple H is in the ring and they're going over all of the match and stuff, and Triple H tells the John Cena joke, oh, I didn't see him. I was like, that's Triple H, kind of funny, a little key right there, right? But I felt like, I don't know, if, like, because I watched it in the background, so I'm doing shit, and I don't know if that's where I felt was the most interesting, right. Just because that was probably the most invested I was in 2025, just to see what they're going to do on that night for John Cena's final match. Like that was maybe my most curious. So to relive that through Unreal, knowing that you're seeing what you want them to see, they're skewing it how they want to skew it. But overall, I felt that this year's Unreal, was it season 3 or whatever, was probably the most flushed out of what they want it to be. And they want it to be, you know, a WWE production of rerunning through the history of their lens in a way to kind of put Triple H in a light of, this is what we do type of thing. You know what I mean? Like that version of Triple H as the boss, as the you know, the main guy. Think of him however you want, but I don't mind it. I don't hate it. I really just don't care. It's not WWE canon. I look at it as a recap and take it how you want to take it. Like I like the mini versions too, where it's like you're looking at Chelsea in her house with Cardona's action figures for fucking 5 minutes. I'm like, all right, that was well worth the time. You watching Trick Williams propose to Lash Legend, and then for some reason they're showing an elephant piss for literally 90 seconds. Like, I'm like, why did they choose the full urination for that lion? Or for that elephant? That's kind of crazy in retrospect. And then Trick is like glamming on the camera. He's like enthralled with the urination. I'm like, that was literally 60 seconds of Unreal. And they went with that. But, you know, I like the little mini versions of this year of Unreal too, with the little mini characteristics of the guys outside the ring, because I don't, you know, they want to scope that how they want to scope it, but looking at it through the scope of Unreal, I think it's cool to see them in their own habitat. So be it, right? So I'm fine to it, but at the end of the day, I don't take it too serious.
Jay, what about you?
I'd be way more interested in an reality show about people watching elephants piss than I am Unreal.
That felt like 90 seconds. It was
when Unreal first came out, it sounded super interesting. I then went and looked up the production details. I said, who's producing this? And I pulled it up, and it said WWE Studios. And I said, oh, so this isn't going to be Unreal at all. Unreal may be the most ironic thing I've ever heard in my life. I don't watch Unreal week to week for the same reason I didn't go watch the Michael Jackson biopic. And that's because when the biography, when the behind the stage version of the story is being put together by someone who represents the person that was in front of the stage, you can't believe any of it. And there's obviously going to be important things that are left out, such as the only thing any real wrestling fan cares about behind the stage of WWE, and that's TKO's involvement. And they don't want to talk about that at all for obvious reasons, because we all know what's happening there. And Triple H has a personality quirk that I noticed a couple of years ago, and Durag Jade commented on this. Triple H thinks that we are all complete idiots. Triple H, because he looks at us as loyal wrestling fans who aren't going to stop watching because we're wrestling fans, he thinks we are idiots, and he thinks we buy the shit that he shovels toward us and says that it's gold, and it's not. WWE Unreal is horseshit. I don't watch it because I don't believe it. The most interesting, there are 3 things in the history of this show so far that I think have been genuine. That was Lyra's reaction after the SummerSlam match got blown with Becky Lynch. John Cena talking about CM Punk when they were in the ring doing the segment. I feel like that was real. And then when Triple H blamed LA Knight for the ending to Money in the Bank. And he probably wouldn't have done that to anybody else that was in that match, but he felt comfortable doing it to LA Knight. I believe that because I feel like that's something Triple H would definitely do. But I'm not interested because it is such a sugar-coated, lame excuse for a behind-the-scenes biography. Is it sort of fun seeing the suit sit around a table with a fake whiteboard behind him talking about booking the show? Yeah, it's kind of fun. Is it interesting to see people like Lyra and see how this is not just a game or whatever? This is their life. This is what they spend their life committing everything about them to doing. And when bad shit like that happens, it impacts them heavily. It hurts their feelings. And obviously, you take something like that and then you see what's going on with Lyra and you start to put the pieces together. And obviously, they're not going to show those conversations. They're not going to show the conversations about, oh, let's glorify, the part where Lyra shows how much this business means to her. Oh, but we're about to have a conversation about how Lyra's never going to approach the main event because of that, so we need to get these cameras out of here. It's just all phony. It's all fake. I understand what it is. You guys are going to tell me I shouldn't be so upset because they're just showing what they want to show. I understand that. The part of it that bothers me is that Triple H thinks I'm an idiot and thinks that I'm just going to buy into that because I'm a wrestling fan. No, it's all horse shit, and I don't buy any of it.
All right. So, Unreal, the way I take it is they show you what they want to show you. Like Ryan said, it's a work. They're showing you the process, the part of the process they want you to see. They're not going to obviously show anything with TKO. I was waiting on them to talk about the fan reaction to Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll. They didn't touch on it at all. They acted like they touched on it a little bit. They said like Pat was like hated, like he's good to get heat or something, but they didn't dive into like how they fucked that story up so bad. Like they highlighted the realism, like Cody getting kicked in the head, like, oh shit, they highlighted that, which was cool, which is like, yeah, I mean, that's the price you pay. This is not, this isn't pillow fighting, there are injuries that happen, but they didn't talk about the online reaction at all. Triple H barely talked about it. So I was like, you're not going to mention how people hated this story going in, how Pat got so much heat because this story was fucking ass. Okay. Like, fine. Like, the Cena stuff was good. I will say the Cena stuff, sometimes he was talking out as just John Cena. John Cena, he's a company man. The company literally owns him. Like, he is, WWE is John Cena. John Cena is part of WWE. He's never going to shit on the company. So, like, but it was validation for me to see Triple H tell him, like, that shit was ass at WrestleMania. Like that was too bad.
Kudos to that.
Like
that was
because
bad.
there were people who literally were defending it like that was the point, and that was Cena. He was like, "That's the point." But then Triple H, the booker, was like, "No, that was too bad." So all y'all who said that, y'all can suck dick. That shit was ass. In the discussion, that shit pissed me off. That's still the dumbest shit I've ever heard on the internet in my fucking life.
Yeah.
That shit was stupid.
Yeah.
But anyway,
hey, $20,000 to go to WrestleMania, and it was bad on purpose, bro. We got you,
bro. Hell no. Triple H, there's something else. There's a soul. He has a brain somewhere. They haven't frozen his body in his brain yet. So thank God.
See the glisten in his eye. The real Triple H is still there somewhere.
But yeah, the Cena stuff was cool. I love his idea with Gunther. Like what I thought from the very moment he tapped out, like that was the character being killed off, and he was content with everything that he ever done. Like I'm like, yes, that was the point. Yes, that was brilliant. That's the one thing that everyone hated, but y'all would excuse the WrestleMania shit. Stupid ass people. But that was great to see. Oh man, it's so ironic that they want to use people's reactions to be like, hey, our fans love our show, when it's like most of those people are probably shitting on your product, probably like in their videos, number one. And number two, that's like 10%, if that, of your fan, probably less than 10% of your actual fan base. And number three, you took some of those people's pages down. So very bold of you to like show that and be like, hey, we got people who love us. Like, no, most of the fans are tired of your bullshit. Anyway, it's just a lot of hypocrisy. It's a big work. It was fine for what it is. Like the production of it, the way they put things together are very good. If you don't watch wrestling, you would probably think it's very beautiful, and you'd be like, oh, wow, this WWE stuff's really good. But if you're a real fan, you're like, wow, that was really well produced. What a load of horseshit, though. Wow. I just got worked. Not really. I didn't get worked because I knew this was a lot of bullshit. But, I mean, if you really want to watch a real, like, behind-the-scenes documentary, just watch fucking Dark Side of the Ring. Like, that's the real shit. That's the shit that you'll get at the most, like, raw, real shit.
Because it's coming from a third party. Exactly.
Yeah. So shout out to Dark Side of the Ring. They've been doing good this season.
Great work.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think you guys make some good points. I think I guess what makes it the most interesting is at the end of the day, I guess we don't know what's real and what's not real, right? That's why it's called Unreal, because what's real, what's legit, and what's shit that they want us to see, right? So it's their company. They'll never tell us. You know, we'll never know the full answer of the questions that many people want answers to. There are people who watch it and will believe everything. There's people who will watch it and not believe anything. And there's people who might be mixed where it's like, oh, that seemed legit, but I don't know about that, you know? So the documentary is an interesting thing. I think they definitely do it for the social media stuff, and I think they want the non-wrestling fans to watch it who don't understand it, and then maybe, hopefully, in their eyes, fingers crossed, they'll watch it and then start to move over to the side of wanting to watch it because it interests them. It's kind of like Total Divas. You know, whether people like the Bellas or not, like a lot of the lady wrestling fans who got into wrestling was because of Total Divas, because of the reality show of the Bellas and stuff. So that plays a part into the audience that they also want to bring over, you know? So most people, when you hear them talk about the Bellas and why they love the Bellas, one of the main things they'll bring up is Total Divas. You know, that was a big thing for them. So everybody gets into wrestling different ways. You know, it might not be the same as you. It might not be something that you agree with or a way that you would have liked, but I think Unreal is a mix of truth, but also fiction. I think they edit things, of course, and they show you things that you want to see. But at the end of the day, I also feel like there are a lot of fans who talk about they don't want to see the behind the scenes stuff, but I also feel like they want to see the behind the scenes stuff. Like there are fans who question like, oh, I don't want to know what's going on. But at the end of the day, they're the one on social media talking about what really happened right there. Or is that a work? Is that a shoot? But then like when they show you, then you don't believe it. You not believe it. You know, it's like the Seth Rollins injury thing, right? The fake injury, you know, where he had the fake injury. It was like, when it happened, people were like, is he really hurt? What's going on here? And then when he wasn't hurt, then people were, you know, making their own assumptions. And like, there's some people who don't even believe that. There's people who really believe he was hurt. So it's wrestling is a very interesting thing. It's not like any other type of genre because we know it's predetermined and we know that it's scripted entertainment. So sometimes it's like what's real and not real. If this was a boxing documentary, then it'd be different because boxing's legit. So if that person really got knocked out, he got knocked out. But then again,
this is Jake Paul.
Yeah.
So let me just say, Malik, you are partially right in that WWE. There's a lot of vague stuff that goes on. We'll never know. The parts that piss me off, though, getting back to Triple H thinking that we're all stupid, is when they say one thing on Unreal, but there is historical proof to the contrary.
All right.
Case in point, Hammy and Golden Jaguar are calling this out. The part where they said, we don't want Braun Breaker to win the Royal Rumble because we don't want to shove anyone down someone's throat. Since fucking when? Since when, first of all, since when is WWE afraid of shoving someone down? And Braun Breaker, that doesn't even apply. That doesn't even apply to Braun Breaker because the internet has universally said for 2 years that we want him at the top of the card. Yeah. It doesn't apply, first of all. And secondly, your company has shown a history of being willing to shove someone down our throats, even if we don't want them, if you believe in them. So to give that as your cop-out reason, regardless, I'm not even saying Braun Breaker was the right choice for the Royal Rumble. That's not what I'm saying at all. You can have your reasons for Braun Breaker winning or not winning the Royal Rumble. But to tell us that it's because we were going to get upset because you shoved him down our throats, piss all the way off. All the way off.
You know what's funny? They said that. You know what they did next? Push Obafemi down our throats with, hey, put him all the way down my throat. I don't care. Like, I'll take that. You know what I mean? Shit, I don't care. Shit, it's over, bro. Like, everyone doing the strut. You know what I mean? Like,
he's a big guy, though.
Yo, hey, what's happening right now?
I had to remind him. No, but to my
what is going on? Jesus.
But all right, let me break.
That may be the biggest pause in the history of.
What the hell?
So, but what I will say though, I actually think the Breaker stuff is a work. I think the whole timing of it all, and I think in the fall, he's in for a big push. Not another pause moment right there, right? But I think kind of Ober took his push in a way, but I do feel that like the shining of Breaker as losing his spot on Unreal and then losing his spot in real life, Seth got to flush out his stories. I think they're telling a sympathetic road for Braun Breaker to kind of break up, be the next breakout babyface.
Maybe.
The chat's
I better clip that shit.
Chat's not happening.
Yeah, that's a major pause right there. I think I like the things that they show where it's like them going over stuff. Like they went over the Braun Breaker turn, like when Seth was like, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what we should do. Make sure even though I'm hurt, make sure.
I love that shit.
Make sure you really hit me. When you spit that stuff is like cool, but it's like,
yep.
Then when they show the creative stuff, it doesn't really bother me. Like I'm kind of like Ryan. I don't really care too much about it. It doesn't really bother me. I don't really look that deep into it. I think some people take it more serious than others, which is their own perspective. I guess that's fine. But I guess for me, it's just like. I do hear your point, Jay, where it's like, they talk about they didn't want Breaker to win. And then somebody mentioned like, well, if we do it, it's too early, we're shoving them down our throats. But it's like, you kind of really done that their whole existence, though. You know what I mean? Like what top superstar wasn't pushed heavily in a top role? You know what I mean? Like I get like, I guess you could say maybe that was more of a Vince McMahon type thing. Sure. I guess you could say that, but anybody who's put in the top is always going to be pushed in some way. And then once again, it goes back to my point before, no matter who you put in a top spot, it doesn't matter who you put in that spot. There are certain fans that will find ways not to like it once you do it. There are people who love the chase. Cody Rhodes is a perfect example. Becky Lynch is a perfect example. Rhea Ripley, Jey Uso, all these people who were chasing that moment. And then when they got the moment, immediately you saw a switch. It happened immediately. So there are certain fans who will find ways not to want to root for the top stars being pushed. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's a reason you shouldn't go with somebody, though. I do believe like, hey, man, if you feel like that's the right move, then give it a shot. I'll never be against Jay winning the Rumble and getting the title match at Mania because I felt that was them taking a chance. That was them doing something different. Like, all right, let's give Jay an opportunity. He's clearly over, whether you liked him or not. He was getting the reactions. He's selling merch. Like he's in a top spot. Let's see what happens. Did it work out? Not really. I don't think it worked out great, but at least they took an opportunity. If Jay never won the Royal Rumble, we'd still be talking about Jey Uso like LA Knight right now.
Yeah,
we'd still be talking about Jay and they had something with him, man, but they didn't do it, but they fumbled it. We would still be talking about him the way we feel about LA Knight right now.
Yeah,
so right. I kind of feel LA Knight deserves that chance. Like, give him. Let's see what happens. It might work out. It might not work out. You know what I'm saying? Like Obafemi, that might work. That might not work. I think it'll work, but the chances of it not working are very slim. But it might not. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't utilize or push somebody because then you never make stars. You know what I mean? Like, there are some people who are ready for it. I think honestly, they have a big fear of taking the chance because of Jey Uso, but they also have PTSD from Roman when he was big dog, because Roman might be the first guy that we might maybe ever that was really pushed, heavily forced, that wasn't ready for it, and we all felt he wasn't ready for it, but WWE showed they didn't care.
But that was completely on them. My point is that was completely on them, because at no point has any live crowd ever given the impression that they're done with Braun Breaker. From the second that Roman Reigns separated himself from Dean Ambrose and started doing his own thing, that crowd in 2015 or 2014 was not taking Roman Reigns. That was not happening, and WWE didn't care. So their logic is backwards in this case. It's completely backwards.
What I think it's the parts that they're leaving out. I think what they wanted to say, or the part of the conversation that was taken out, was TKO doesn't want the fan backlash. And we want to stick with people who we know are going to sell tickets. So let's not take a chance on a new young guy for the main event of WrestleMania. Let's go with somebody who has already been proven. And at that point, the only option you really had was Brock. Punk was champion at that time, so Cody, Brock, and then Roman, and that was it. So they're like, all right, let's go with Roman. That's the best guy we can do. He's the safe option. That's what TKO wants. You know, he's going to sell tickets. Let's do it. Let's not take a chance.
When back in 2015, when Roman was getting this big push, that main event scene was not as deep as it is now.
No,
right.
So, nor was the crop of new stars coming up. Oh, but Brock, Trick, and so on and so forth. You didn't have the depth that you had now. So that's a lot.
NXT was new. They hadn't brought in the indie guys yet.
I'm saying as far as even if the roster was as deep back then, they already had their minds made up that Roman was next. Didn't matter how deep the roster was. They already made it. Daniel Bryan was coming off WrestleMania, and they told him they wanted Roman to be the next Cena. So it didn't matter how popular he was. He was next in line. They pushed him before he was ready. And no matter how bad the reactions got, for years, they told us, we don't care. He's our guy. It doesn't matter how much you don't like it. You'll find ways to either accept it or just don't watch. That's basically how it felt. Like, you either going to accept it or just don't watch. And some people might have dipped out at that time. Some people might have kept watching. But I think they have a fear of that, maybe with Breaker, where it's like, or whoever, we push that person in that spot. Oh, let's say they get rejected. Then now what do we do? Do we continue to put them in that spot and push them, or now do we have to switch it up and change it? I don't feel like you have to go off that, though. When number one, when Roman got the push, we mentioned, we just felt he wasn't ready at that time, and the way he was being used didn't feel the way he should have been used all them years either. Like, we never said that Roman didn't have the potential. He just wasn't being utilized the way we felt he could have been utilized at his full potential. And then when he switched into the tribal chief, everybody was like, yep. All right. That's kind of what we were looking at or looking for right there. All you need to do was a little heel turn and then figure it out for the rest. With Braun or whoever, with Oba, there are a lot of guys who've already kind of shown potential, though. They've already shown us that they could at least be a main eventer. I'm not saying they got to be the face of the brand. You ain't got to put them at the number one spot, but you could at least establish them as main event stars. Because if you notice, they don't ever have issues, and it's kind of weird. They don't ever have issues doing it in the women's division. As soon as women come up, a lot of them immediately get titles or big opportunities. Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble wins. You look at Stephanie, look at Tiffany, look at Jade. Bianca. Most of those people, they come up immediately, and they're already given spots to be established in the women's division as main event stars. The only issue with that is they just don't know how to book them as champions. They're great at giving them the moments, but then once they become champions, it's like they don't know what to do with them. The men is kind of the opposite. They're kind of decent at booking certain champions, but they feel like they have to wait so long to establish certain guys in the main event spot because they're either afraid or they want to keep their older guys relevant. I don't know what it is, but it's like if you look at the women's division, you can equally find the perfect balance in the men's division because you still got Becky in the mix, Bianca when she comes back, Naomi when she comes back, some of the OGs, but then you got Tiffany, you got Stephanie, you got Jade, all these other younger guys who fit very equal to these main eventers. So you could put them in a title match or a main event slot and it feels authentic. With the men, you got talent there that have shown the potential. You know, when Braun was going up against CM Punk, I felt that felt legit. I'm like, okay, I can buy into this as a world title match. And if Braun Breaker had won, I could believe that. Oba winning King of the Ring, I can get into that. I can believe that because these people have shown us potential. But now you're waiting either too long to do it, and it goes back to what we talked about previously. You wait too long, sometimes people are going to give up. They're not going to care anymore because then they're either going to feel like it's never going to happen, or there's going to be other people that come along that are going to surpass their momentum that now you're already more interested in. We've seen it happen. Braun Strowman is literally a perfect example. When they had the momentum with Braun Strowman, they chose not to utilize it. And then when Braun Strowman finally became Universal Champion, it was in a match he wasn't even supposed to be in. That wasn't even supposed to happen for him. It just happened by a happy accident. And then they gave it to him. Just be like, here, you know, just take it. And then when Roman comes back, we'll figure everything else out afterwards, you know. So I wish they would. I just wish they would establish some of the younger guys more in the main event slot. Again, I'm not saying you have to push them high up. They don't have to take the place of Roman or Cody as the face of the brand. You know, they don't have to take that spot, but at least make them feel equal to where they feel like main event guys. That's just all I'm asking for right now.
And just to underline a point, and there's an example from Unreal, so I'll tie this back in. But the biggest problem with WWE right now is that it feels like and I've talked about what I think the reasons are for this, but it does feel like Triple H's and the Booker's primary concern right now is not the on-screen product, it's not fan satisfaction, it's not roster morale, it's TKO's bottom line. That's what it feels like, is TKO's bottom line. Because it feels like the most important things right now are, if you are not at the top of the card, take a pay cut or you're gone. And number two, make sure you leave time for the ad breaks. One of the saddest scenes, and I'm not even the biggest fan of Liv Morgan as a person right now with some of the stuff that's coming out about the people she does business with. That's neither here nor there. I don't even want to talk about that right now. Nate, I'll get at you after. I don't even want to talk about it live. But when I watched it, it did hit me in the feels because Triple H is talking to Liv after her match. And Liv says, with tears in her eyes, did I make up some time? That should be the last thing on a professional wrestler's mind when they come back to the back after a match. Did I make up some time? Because you know what that tells me? That tells me before Liv went out, she wasn't told, remember what we went over in rehearsals. She wasn't told, go out there and work the crowd. She wasn't told, make sure you hit that entrance. She wasn't told, hey, we really want this ending to sing. Make sure you sell this, whatever. The last thing Liv was told before she went out for that match was, we're 20 minutes behind. We have an ad break coming up. Make sure this doesn't go on too long. And to understand that wrestlers are being told before they go out, make sure you watch your time. In a world where we're on Netflix, it's not even cable television anymore. When you're on a live event on ESPN that isn't on cable, it's entirely streamed, so you literally could go as long as you want. But the ad revenue is so important that we have to make sure that we make up time for our matches. When Liv Morgan, in your eyes, the way you present her on screen is one of your most important properties, and even as your world champion, it's her job to make sure we leave time for the ad breaks. It honestly, it makes me sad as fuck. It makes me sad that the wrestlers have to be so concerned. And I know, first of all, chat and you guys, I know that's always been a thing. I'm not saying it hasn't always been a part of wrestling. But for her to be so emotional and the first words out of her mouth, did I make up some time? This just makes me sad as fuck. I hate it. Absolutely hate it.
Yeah, it's annoying, but why let it take the joy out of the fucking wrestling, right?
Well, sure. Like I said, I'm gonna because I have to as a father at this point because I have to.
It's hard. It's hard when you go to a show and you gotta wait for like 15 minutes for the next match to happen because you got to see the Hogan ad for the 10th time this evening. That's literally what was WrestleMania. It was match, it was entrance, match, ad. They would show after the match, they would show what's next. Then they go to an ad. Then they're like, hey, this match is coming next. Like, yeah, I know this is coming next. When is it coming? Oh, no, another ad? Oh, wow. Okay, thanks. And then more ads, of course, Hogan documentary. Then the entrance would happen. We don't get no promo packages unless it's the main event. They don't care about that shit no more. And then the matches, the first night were very short, and aside from like 2. And then the second night they did better, but still, it was just like ad. Like, bruh, can we wrestle? Like, I paid to see wrestling. I didn't pay to watch something that I'm gonna have to pay to watch eventually. Like, so fucking. It's hard to find joy in wrestling when there's an ad every fucking 5 minutes. It's very hard. That's why I stick with AEW. And NXT. NXT does a good job with limiting ads because they have the little picture-in-picture shit. So
yeah. I mean, the ads really. Hopefully, I'm hoping SummerSlam isn't like WrestleMania because it's a great show.
That this morning, like, yeah.
So it's like the ads.
Shit with ads.
Like they. What's crazy is that they done promo packages for Backlash, Clash, and then like all the other shows, but WrestleMania was. Watching it, it was so weird because you would get ads and then no promo package, just right into the match, and then the matches weren't even long. You know, they were all like slimmed down and stuff. So it's like that was like one of the most oralist WrestleManias I've ever been a part of as a fan watching, where it was like the builds didn't feel WrestleMania type builds. The hype going into Mania, it wasn't there, but then the show was like. The show wasn't like terrible, but it wasn't great either. It just kind of felt like another show. Like didn't feel like WrestleMania. I feel like I was watching another just random episode of something.
Yeah.
It's just like when, I say this as a Patriots fan, but it's just like when you watch the Super Bowl this year, and then suddenly the Patriots O-line forgot how to play football. It's like, wait a minute, is this the fucking Super Bowl or is this the preseason? Like, the Super Bowl didn't feel like a Super Bowl except for the halftime show, and so it's fitting that WrestleMania this year was kind of the same thing. It didn't feel like a WrestleMania because WrestleMania used to be about the match. I literally saw somebody posted a TikTok today of the last Raw before WrestleMania 20. When the 2 broadcast teams ran down the card and they were so excited that we're going to have 4 hours of wrestling and look at all these matches and da. And back then, if you watched a 4-hour wrestling show, it was 20-minute match, maybe 1 ad for the next show, 5-minute promo segment to hype up a match coming later in the card, boom, another match. Yeah. That was it. And it was just 4 hours of wrestling back to back. And I'm not saying I know we live in a capitalistic society that has only gotten worse over time. I'm not here saying that we're ever going to get back to WrestleMania 20 levels of 4 hours. I understand that. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that understanding that we live in a capitalistic society, but when another company comes in and pays so much money to be involved in this, and then they're involved in the biggest, richest contract deal with ESPN that has ever been signed with a company like this, to think that, oh man, we need to make up that money as quickly as possible for that to be your primary goal with your shows. It just completely takes me out of it as a fan. I can't imagine having been at WrestleMania Live. Cannot imagine paying that much for a seat, sitting down in those uncomfortable ass seats, surrounded by sweaty wrestling fans, and have to watch a half an hour of ads between match. Being at home was bad enough, but to have spent that much money to pay that much for travel to get there and spend 2 days of devoting of your time 100% to WWE, and for them to repay you in the way that they repaid you. Can't imagine.
Yeah, that shit was a little shitty, man. That, I mean, I didn't pay for my seats, but everything else, travel, all that shit, like, man, I want my money back. Give Minnie Sister her money back, bro. Come on, man. That shit was
Did Jackie Gata and Stacy Keibler get more time than Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan?
I don't think so.
Might be close.
It's probably very close.
Like, it was like an 8-minute match.
It was like 8 minutes.
Remember the roll up though? The roll up, and she's
that
wasn't bad.
AJ and Becky got 8 minutes too,
which is great. Like
that's AJ's last match. I think her last match at the last WrestleMania she had. I think that match is longer than that match. I think that match was like 12 minutes. I think. Let me look. I feel like she had a longer match at her last WrestleMania.
And part of me, honestly, that's another. This is just a conspiracy theory. I have no proof of this, but part of me sort of buys into the fact that maybe that had something to do with the fact that AJ just has had no follow-up. Maybe she looked around and said, boy, this is the WWE that I came back to? No thanks. You know?
This is pretty content on Unreal, though. Like, I get it.
I know. But
maybe it's like a contractual thing where they gave her 7 months to get to WrestleMania, and then what's next is probably the holdup.
Yeah, but I guess the better way of putting that would be I would not blame her if that was what she thought. I guess I'll just put it like that.
Sure,
it was only 2 minutes. It was only 2 minutes shorter than her actual last match. It was 6 minutes, and like some change.
Oof.
Okay, so that was 8 minutes. So, I mean, they gave her 28 Elimination Chamber, so they were like, all right, we gave you 20. You get 8.
Yeah, we gave you 20. Yeah.
WrestleMania's probably better. Yeah.
That's still to dive into the women's division real quick. We just talked about they had no women's matches on Raw. This whole women's revolution thing is still something that needs to be worked on. We're over a decade over this movement that happened, back in 2015. Of course, things have progressed and gotten better. We've gotten first ever women's WrestleMania main events, Chamber, Hell in a Cell, Money in the Bank, all that stuff, and all women's PLE. We've had a lot of great progression to where we want to get, but they still don't treat the women as equal as they do the men, because you have champions literally in that division who do nothing with the champions. The world champions, might add you. Yep. They would never do that with Cody. You never see that with CM Punk, with Roman, with Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, even if Braun Breaker was the champion. If you're the world champion, you would have a story and you would be consistently doing something on TV, whether you found it boring or entertaining, whatever the case is. They have literal champions in the world title scene in the women's division who literally would just hold the title as a prop. The champions just to be the champion. It doesn't mean anything. They're great at getting the moments, but they literally will do nothing with the title to make it feel important to the shows. And then you have an entire episode of Raw with no women's matches on it, with no women promo segments or anything like that. I still feel like we're taking a step backwards. We're not really in this women's evolution progressive where it's like we feel there is equal to the men. They don't get the main event slots on the PLEs as much. They don't get the main events of WrestleMania, that barely, depending on, who's in it and what the story is. I feel they still don't treat them as equal when they have the talent and you have the star power there. Rhea Ripley is top 5 most popular stars in the whole company. There aren't too many men you can point out in the company that are more popular than her right there alone. Becky when she's there, Bianca, AJ Lee, the Bellas. Like, you got popularity there. You have the talent there when it comes to women who can tell stories, women who can put on very good matches. You're literally checking off every single box you could imagine. But yeah, we're still talking about why we have no matches on Raw for women. Why is the women's all women's pay-per-view not a daily thing year by year? Why are we debating this year whether or not it's going to happen when that was one of the best shows they had last year? That was arguably the best PLE they had last year. Was the
with bad build, and then they even have no build, and they still knocked it out the park
with no good build and stuff like that. Evolution last year was arguably one of the best shows we had last year. Even in 2018, it was still a good show. Why are we still debating whether or not that's going to come back as a yearly thing?
And then look at NXT.
Yeah. And one of the problems, in my opinion, is that I don't think, like, obviously the women's division has leaders, right? But I don't think the women's division is going to have anyone that feels comfortable stepping up and saying something. Because Becky has become a company girl, right? Which is fine. Becky deserves every amount of success and recognition she's gotten. But she's become a total line company wrestler, so Becky's not going to say anything. Somebody like Liv Morgan, one of your world champions, Triple H literally pulled Liv Morgan out of the doldrums, right? So Liv Morgan feels like she owes everything to Triple H because Triple H made her the star that she always thought she should have been. And to her credit, she's put in a lot of work for it. But my point is, she's never going to say anything against Triple H because Triple H made her what she is. And then everyone else that's left on the roster are literally, for lack of a better way of putting it, I don't want this to sound derogatory, but they are Triple H's babies, right? They are Triple H's soldiers, Rhea, Io, right? These are Triple H's people. This is his army. So with all of that notwithstanding, I don't think there's anyone on the women's division. So I don't think the answer is going to come from within, which is what sucks. And the answer is not going to come from up top either. The answer may eventually come the same way that the original Divas Revolution took place. Hashtag, what was it? Give the Divas more time. Give the Divas time.
Give them a chance.
Give the Divas a chance. Yeah, that's how that started. But WWE has shown a complete disregard for fan reactions. That they'll put your live reaction at the top of a show if it shows them in a good light, but it's not like they're going to show the highlights when you're not. So I'm not sure what the answer is with the women. I don't know where they go. I don't know how it gets better.
And I feel like the fans could try that movement, but you're going to have your tribalists push back and be like, well, look where they were just 15 years ago and look where they are now. Like, be grateful for where they are. So I really don't even think there could be a push, because I feel like Triple H's little soldiers online are going to push back and be like, no, you guys just are complaining just to complain again. When it's like, no, you don't give enough attention to these women. You have plenty of women in NXT too who you could call up and fill out that roster. But there's always going to be those people who are going to fight back and they're going to defend Triple H, or not even Triple H. They're just going to defend the company, because I'm sure Triple H probably looks at it like, I wish I could do more, but TKO wants me to prioritize Cody, Roman. Rhea's injured, so who am I going to? And Stephanie's not here, so who am I going to highlight? Like, there's barely any woman that I could see TKO being like, highlight these women. They're like, oh, no Rhea, no Stephanie, okay. Well, whatever. Just give Cody and Punk 10 more minutes and take it from the woman. Because whenever they add something to the show, whenever something goes over, what's the first thing they cut? The first segment they cut the women. They cut the women, and now they have more reason than ever. There's the star power is as little as it's been in years in that women's division because of injuries. So if something runs long, if they need to take something out, you best believe the women are getting cut, because they got very little stars right now, and TKO could care less unless they're doing the same numbers that Roman, unless everybody's doing the same numbers Roman, Cody, Punk, Oba, even Brock at this point are doing. They're not going to care.
If any of those prediction markets set the over-under for that six-pack ladder match at SummerSlam at 10 minutes, I might take the under, and I might take that pretty confidently, which is sad to say. But if that ladder match goes longer than 10 minutes, I will be shocked. I'll be floored.
Can we talk about that real quick?
Sure.
What do you guys think of the interim? Like, you know me, I love history.
Hate it.
And I love, like, the lineage. How's this going to play out? It's got me a little nervous.
It feels like, first of all, let me just say one thing real quick, because I don't have much else to say about it. If this had happened to anybody but Rhea, it wouldn't be an interim. They would just strip the title.
Yeah,
but since it's Rhea, they're not going to strip the title. Yeah.
What's crazy though is that they've made her give up the title before, so I don't see why that would even be an issue, because she literally had to give it up when she had a little shoulder injury, and then Becky won the title in the Battle Royal, and then Liv became the champion, right? So I don't like interim, because interim doesn't mean real champion. You're just a placeholder champion until the legit champion comes back that they want to be the champion. They do it in UFC, and I think that's why TKO is placing it over to WWE, because in UFC, when certain champions, when certain champions get hurt or, they get suspended or whatever, they crown interim champions, and then they do like this big champion for champion fight, you know what I mean? Like, who's the real champion type of stuff. In wrestling, I don't feel like that really works though, because it feels like to me you're telling us Rhea's the real champion that we want, which is fine. We get that. But we don't want to take the title off of her because we really don't know when she's going to be back. There's no timeline of her real return. So we don't know if she's going to be gone for a few months or if she'll be back next week. We don't know. But we'll go ahead and place an interim champion because we have to have a champion on the show. So let's just give a champion who's just going to be the placeholder until Rhea comes back, and then we'll just take the title off that individual, and now Rhea's our champion again. That's how it kind of feels. It's like when they had Punk, when CM Punk won the WWE Championship, and then he left with it, and then they crowned the new champion, right? And then Cena won the championship, and now they had this title for title match at SummerSlam. And then Punk won the championship, and he won that match, but then they gave Del Rio the title, and then Del Rio literally passed the title back to John Cena. So it was kind of like they were telling us, oh, okay, we'll give Punk this little moment, but he's not really the champion we want right now. Cena's still our guy. He's still our champion, but he's got this big movement right now. We'll just please the audience until we really kind of figure out a way how to move around it. And that's exactly what they did. Punk won that Money in the Bank. He was gone for like 2 weeks. Cena became the new champion. We had this title for title match at SummerSlam. Punk wins that match, but then Del Rio cashes in. And then literally the next month, John Cena wins the title back and Night of Champions, and then CM Punk is losing to Triple H in the main event. So it kind of feels like a placeholder championship to me. That's how I feel about it, because whoever wins the interim title, I don't see them beating Rio.
I was about to say, there's not even any intrigue in it, regardless of who wins this match. Who of us is picking that person to beat Rhea when she comes back for the champion versus champion match in 3 months? Nobody. So,
and to add to it, if you're the interim, does that really count? Like, if you're
that's what I'm going
to
get to right there, Malik. Yeah.
If Chelsea Green wins the title, does it count on her resume? Like, do we look at her as an actual WWE Women's Champion, or do we feel like it was kind of a cop out?
It's fitting to put it into her, but I want to know like the lineage. It seems like they needed a match at SummerSlam with stakes for the women's side on SmackDown,
and that's fine.
And they came up with this idea, but I just don't want to bastardize the history of it all. That's
a good way of putting it.
The idea could have been fine. Just make it for the actual title.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Why not just do that?
And and that way would even look better on Rhea's resume, by the way, because at the end of her career, she could say that she's an 11-time champion instead of a 10-time champion, or whatever the number ends up being.
Yeah.
And now the title just runs congruently, right? Because she never lost the title, so when she wins this champion versus champion match in 3 or 4 months, it's not that she's winning another world championship; she's retaining the championship that she already had. It doesn't make that there is no logistical, logical reason for you not to just strip the title. And to do it that way, I don't
understand wins, why they can't, because you always will have a story with somebody when they get injured and they have to give up the title. You always have a story when that person comes back. They just go after the title. They never lost. They never lost it. Nobody beat them for it. I never understood how people can come back and just not go after a title that they immediately didn't lose. That's the easiest story you could tell with somebody who gets injured. Like that's just a no-brainer. When Finn Balor came back from his injury in 2017, they never told the story of him going after the Universal Championship when he was the first one to win it, and he only had it for a day and got hurt. He just completely forgot about it when he came back. It took him like years to even get another shot at the Universal Championship. I don't understand, like, when you have somebody who gets hurt, just use that as part of the story. They did it with Rhea and Liv. When Rhea got injured, she had to give up the title, and immediately when she came back, they made that a part of the story. Liv was the one that got injured. Liv was on this revenge tour, so it actually added more to the story to make it better going into SummerSlam. They have an opportunity to just have Rhea give up the title, and she can just come back and just tell the story of, I never lost the title, I want the championship. Seth's doing it right now. It took him a little bit to get there, but he's going after Roman because, hey, he didn't have to fight for a number one contender spot. None of that. He just came out to Roman and said, you never beat me. I never lost that title. We need to fight at SummerSlam. That's our story right there. I never lost it. I want the title back, and you can't beat me. So let's make this happen.
Can you imagine? Speaking of things they'll do to the men, but not to the women, can you imagine if someone had looked at Roman Reigns at some point and said, "Now keep in mind, you're just the interim champion. Just keep that in mind. You're the interim world champion. You're not the world champion. You're the interim." Can you imagine saying that to Roman Reigns? No, they wouldn't.
So hypothetically, Chelsea Green wins this match, and she is the women's interim champion, and then Rhea returns, let's say October, and they have a match, and Rhea wins. Is August through October erased in history? Like, how does that like?
That's like if Charlotte. So my other question was like, if Charlotte wins, does this count as number 15?
Yeah, right.
Or is it like it's only 15 if you beat
14
Rhea?
and a half, bro. 14 and a half.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh Jesus. Oh my God.
That's an interesting thing. I mean, I guess if the interim champion was to win, then I guess you could say it counts. But the only way I feel like they can make up for this if it's like at SummerSlam, Rhea was to come out and they would make it a 6-woman ladder match now. Like she's back and like now she's actually going to defend the title in this ladder match. Everybody's earned it. Okay, now that's a cool little surprise right there. You know what I mean? Like that's a cool little fit. But the interim to me just feels like you're a placeholder. It never feels like you're the actual legit champion. You're just a side quest. You're somebody who has to hold the title for a little bit until our legit champion is able to return and actually become the champion. Braun Strowman, I think, was an interim champion because if you look at when Strowman won the championship, it was a match he wasn't even supposed to be in. And then literally when Roman Reigns came back, they created a whole pay-per-view the week after just so, Roman Reigns can win the Universal Championship. So it was kind of like you're just the champ until our guy comes back and we want him to be the champion. It's kind of how it feels with the Rhea situation. It's kind of like, all right, yeah, Rhea's our champion, but we kind of have to put somebody on the show as champion because she can't defend the title, so we'll just give it to somebody until she comes back.
And if somebody like Chelsea wins the match and it ends up being her only world championship she ever won, there is no bigger example of a here naysayer damn than an interim championship reign. Like,
it's kind of fitting with her though. Yeah,
I can't think of a single logical reason why you wouldn't just strip it. It even, like I said, it even works better for Rhea because then she has an extra title reign you can slap onto the end of everything.
And it also makes it look worse for Rhea in the end because it makes it look like WWE's playing favoritism. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So when they've already shown they've stripped her of the title before, they made her relinquish the championship before when she was hurt 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now they're not doing the same. So it's like when the next person's hurt, how's that going to work out? Are they going to make them give up the title or are we going to get another interim champion? So
it also makes you wonder if they went to Rhea and said, hey, we need to strip this title. And Rhea pulled her weight and said, no, you're not going to strip the title. You can do whatever you want. You can do interim. You can do whatever, but I don't want the title stripped. Which maybe
she didn't do that.
Okay. So maybe she didn't, but it just, but my point is though, regardless of if that happened or something else happened, it opens the door to too many questions, too many uncertainties, too many conspiracy theories when you do it this way. If you just have it cut and dry, clean, titles over there, now it's there. Give it to Rhea as soon as she comes back. I don't give a shit. She's a star. But this whole interim thing just creates so many questions that are completely and wholly unnecessary. And the unreal of it in season 4 is just going to piss me off. I don't want any piece.
Hey, don't put the show on. Future Us.
I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back to Unreal, Ryan. I'm bringing it back to
Future
Unreal.
Us.
When they cover this on Unreal next year
Jay.
and feed me some bullshit story about how it was the doctor's fault they had to do this, it's going to drive me up a wall. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it. We went to see Rhea in the hospital, and
but it sucks because I thought Rhea's reign was pretty decent.
So we had to make an interim champion. It's going to drive me nuts. I can't stand it already.
So let me do a little round table here, and we'll ask some few questions since we got SummerSlam coming up here. What's the one match on the show that you feel like could steal the show just based off of a match? You know, just looking on paper, this is a match that you're like, I think this could be the best match on the show.
To me, well, on paper, you would think Penta and Gable, Penta in his hometown, but I think that low-key might get hurt from the face-to-face. You know, you're going to have kids in the crowd that really love Penta, and it might be a milquetoast reaction because you got two fan favorites in there. Who gets the heat? When's the heat come? When's the comeuppance? And honestly, that low-key could be a match that would maybe snip, snap.
I was about to say the 8-minute runtime isn't going to help it either.
Yeah, unless if they make that an ESPN match. I think I saw something that they wanted to make that an ESPN match. If they put that as the first ESPN match, you're definitely going to get 15 minutes historically.
ESPN does love Penta.
Yep. So I think I think maybe that could be a spot that is in a good spot. But I think Cody Punk should be pretty good. Night 1 or night 2, I don't think it matters. And then Oba Brock.
I was about to say every Hell in a Cell match they've had since they stopped doing Hell in a Cell every year. Every Hell in a Cell match they've had has been a banger.
Triple H has protected that.
Yeah. And so I think Brock and Oba is probably in a good because they're not going to cut Brock's time, right? They'll cut everyone else on the show.
Don't need time. You can cut. He wants you to cut his time.
Right, exactly. So they're going to give Brock as much time as he wants. And so, yeah.
Especially if this is his last match, then he'll get it.
In Minnesota, the heat's going to be there. I
think best match for me, I'll pick 3. I think either Hell in a Cell, Gunther and Nick Aldis, or
it's a good one.
I think Roman and Seth will be pretty good too. I think that'll because they're going to get a lot of time. I think it'll be they've always had good chemistry too. So I think Roman and Seth could really be a good match.
Depends on how much. If there's a single bit of bloodline shenanigans in this match, I might throw myself out a window.
Oh, of course.
I'm so sick of bloodline shenanigans.
They haven't done it yet, but you never know.
Well, I can't wait for Seth Rollins to think that the pedigree
because the bloodline match. What's the opposite of steal the show? Give the show back. The 6-man tag with the bloodline is going to give the show back. They're gonna sell the show. They're not going to steal the show. They're going to sell the show. That's going to be the 6-man tag. It's going to be 7 minutes. It's going to be 3.5 minutes are going to be the entrances. LA Knight's going to say LA Knight, and then he's going to be back to catering next week. I don't give a shit about that match.
Number one contender match.
Sammy and Finn will be good. That'll be a good match.
Yeah.
I do think it'll be a good match.
It's an underdog, yeah.
That should be a good match. The only match I really honestly don't care about on the show as far as a match wise would be the 6-man tag. I just don't.
I don't care about Dom and Danhausen either.
Yeah, it's cold.
Dom and Danhausen is fine. I mean, I'm sure that match should be entertaining, but like looking at the 6-man tag where I don't know, man. It's just like
it sucks.
It feels so bad for LA Knight, man. I'm like, damn, LA Knight's either fighting the Vision or the Bloodline. Like, there's no in between. Like,
or he's teaming with the Bloodline. He's got Solo on his fucking team.
Like
he's so stupid.
He's either fighting the Vision or he's fighting the Bloodline. It's like, I don't know, man.
By the way, are they telegraphing, or am I misreading this? Are they telegraphing that Solo is ultimately going to join the Bloodline? I mean, or are they serious about a Solo babyface run? What are they doing with it?
Of course, Solo's going back to the Bloodline.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Like,
yeah,
they're gonna. That's a big part of why we talked about. We don't think Roman is losing the title because they're repackaging. They're technically kind of repackaging the whole group. It's just now Jacob's in there. So Solo's the last member. Of course, they're gonna repackage. War Games comes up. Who's gonna be in there? It's gonna be the Bloodline.
Yep.
It's gonna be Bloodline versus the Vision, man.
Kill me.
Seth's gonna go back to his old group, and now we got Bronson, we got Logan, we got Austin Theory in there. You know what I'm saying?
Maxine's gonna step in.
What the biggest shame is that we all know that at its peak, the Bloodline was the best story ever told in wrestling. Maybe only contested by Austin McMahon. But my God, is the peak over? My God, is the peak over? It's so done.
Celtic Shack.
What's crazy now too for me, it's like with the Bloodline, I don't feel like it's bad, but it's not great either. It's just like it's just there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's just like it exists, and now it feels like why does it still have to be a thing though? You know what I mean? Like I was really hoping when Roman won the championship, he was gonna go on a little run where he's
solo run.
He's doing his own thing, right? And it's just like I don't know, man. I don't know. It also feels kind of like a cop out too, where it's like now people can still make the argument that Roman can't do anything without the Bloodline. You know what I mean? Because it's like that's all the things he's been doing since 2020.
Dre Quinn in chat. Yeah. I did temporarily forget about the Bella Twins and Paige versus
get that shit out of here.
It's the Fatal Influence. That's gonna be the worst match on the card.
Y'all ready to see?
Gonna be terrible.
Y'all ready to see?
Hey, I'm happy Fatal Influence on the show though. At least they're on the show.
Yeah, I guess so.
Bro. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Y'all ready to see a Bella's Paige rivalry in 2026? That's where we're going, bro. That's where
the big 2026.
Bella telegraphed since WrestleMania. Since when Paige came back, I was like, they're gonna turn on Paige.
What would you rather see? The Bloodline stretch out for another year, or a Bella Paige feud for a month?
I will watch the Bloodline for 10 years before I watch one Bella Paige match in 2026. Fuck that.
I'd rather watch 24 hours straight of AEW.
Hey, that's good, man. That's good shit right there.
Which one would you take, Ryan? A whole another year of the Bloodline, or a month feud between Bella's and the Paige?
Probably Bloodline. Just to the floor is higher. The floor is higher than their ceiling.
Let me tell y'all.
30 days.
This is how washed Paige is. I'd rather watch 24 hours of indie deathmatch wrestling than a 5-minute Paige match in 2026. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, brother. Yeah. No, it's not. Her heart's never been in it. It hasn't been in it since 2014. Get that shit out of here. I don't care. Nice girl, but you gotta hang it up. Nice girl. Hang it up. Hang it up, sweetheart.
Damn.
Please.
That's great.
Jesus.
Turn the page.
Sweet girl.
Very nice.
Turn the page.
Turn page.
Turn the page.
Oh, I get
Go back to being a general manager. Take Nick Aldis' place. That was the best Paige has ever been.
Yeah, Duke Gunther versus Paige. Take Nick Aldis' place. Duke Gunther versus Paige.
Now that you bring that up, I got a question for you. So I think we got like 3 big matches: the 2 world titles, and then the Hell in a Cell. And they obviously they want to divvy it up 2 and 2. What is that 4th big match? Do you think is it Aldis and Gunther?
I think Aldis and Gunther might open night 2.
And you think that's perceived to be the 4th biggest match on SummerSlam?
I think so. Yeah.
Who do you guys think? Who do you guys think takes Aldis' spot? I think it's to be Adam Pearce or?
Well, didn't they say it's interim?
So
he's stepping away interimly.
Boy, I hate
that.
After the match.
Is that what they said?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it'll be.
We can play it. Let's have that.
Anonymous Raw General Manager.
Oh, let's go Hornswoggle. Yeah, Hornswoggle. Let's do that.
Honestly, no shitting around. I think they could make Danhausen a general manager. No shitting around. I could
Dude, that would be
see that.
That would be good. I'm not gonna lie.
I could see that.
For a week, maybe.
The first thing as general manager, everyone buys a Danhausen t-shirt.
That shit would be played out in 3 weeks. That should be played out in 3 weeks, bro. Get this shit out of here, bro.
I think
they can make it work depending on how they do it.
You know what I would like to see? If they actually like have a plan. I would like to see them what they did when they were trying to build up the SmackDown general manager in 2016. I like to see them like for a week kind of have different people as a general manager. Like you bring back Teddy Long and then you don't bring back Vicky because she's very controversial. Bring back you can't bring back McFoley. Damn, this company, man. Y'all burned so many bridges.
Stephanie McMahon, you do Stephanie McMahon.
The celebrity guest host, bro.
All right. They might do that. They actually might do that.
Dude, that could definitely see TKO do
that.
Oh my God.
It's going to be Speed 1 week, Tom Brady the next week.
My only thing is, if they do it, can you just bring people in who are actually fans of the show? Like, I don't need people going out there and cutting promos talking about
Summerfest.
The Summerfest.
Jesus Christ!
When you have people there who are actually fans, like Shaq was there. Bob Barker was great.
Shaq was
Bob Barker was great.
Bob Barker was legendary. Yes.
When you have when you have people on the show who genuinely don't even know the names of the people.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Snoop Dogg would be a good one. He'd be fun.
Snoop Dogg was good, you know what I'm saying? Cedric the Entertainer was good when he did it. Like, there's certain people who can make it work, But like,
Jalen Brunson.
Shit, yeah, that's what they're going to do. Is they're going to have the New York Knicks. All 12 guys on the New York Knicks are going to rotate the general manager. That's exactly what they're going to do.
Funny, you know what I'm saying? Like they can have some, they can have some good celebrity guests.
Cat runs into Roman Reigns. They just asked me in my office about you. They really did.
They really did.
No, that's crazy.
You got a match tonight in the main event.
And after all that,
I just had a chat with Roman Reigns, and after all that, I'm making a tag team match in the main event. They really did.
Who's he doing?
Zesty Cat, Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. He gets close on. Oh my God.
Why does he talk like that though? I'm trying to figure that out.
I don't know. But then he's interviews like, we just gotta do it. You know what I mean? Like what the fuck?
He's literally in an interview going, we just gotta go out there and play. And then someone comes up behind him, he's like, we just gotta play. Oh hi, hey, how you doing? Yeah, we just gotta grab those rebounds.
He literally he got like 3 different voices, bro. He got 3 different voices.
Oh yeah,
you know they should bring back LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball.
Oh my God! Bring LiAngelo too.
Bring LeVar. Bring LeVar.
Oh, Anthony! Oh my God, bro!
Bring LaMelo Ball when he said nigga on TV, I couldn't believe it. There's no way. There's no way they let this happen.
Beat that nigga ass. Beat that nigga ass.
How
say Yachty?
And you know what's crazy? They never addressed it. I've never seen anybody backstage talk about it. Like I would love to know what they thought backstage.
Yeah.
I just feel like Vince was just laughing his ass off. Like I said it.
That's such good shit.
Someone said,
was so crazy. When watching that live, I just remember I couldn't believe what I heard. I'm like, what? He said it twice too. I'm like, no way.
He did.
Like
someone said Yachty.
I mean, he kind of
be all right.
He's kind of already there, so it's like, I mean,
you could turn on Trick and be the GM. I can see that.
Logan Paul.
I think Adam Pearce will fit. Paul
Heyman would be a great choice. I think
he would be a fantastic choice.
Heyman would be cool. Yep.
Be Michael Hayes.
Just give it to Matt Cardona. Give it to Matt Cardona, man.
He
ain't doing shit.
Hey, AJ Lee was GM at one point. Bring her back.
Hey, why is Michael PSA pulling up to the female wrestlers like the 8th grade basketball coach though?
Why is he still employed?
Why is that shit happening?
Who?
Michael PSA.
Michael PSA is in Unreal. He pulled up to Stephanie in the back like he's the 8th grade basketball coach driving around on the track. Hey, how you doing, girl?
A lot of people like him. That's why a lot of the
because he's funny backstage.
So. He's fucking ass, man. He's so out of touch.
He may not be a great booker, but he's got a lot of good relationships. That's why
I guess
good relations. He's a Finnish guy. Whatever.
A lot of people. I've seen many wrestlers who talk about him, like Becky and said many others. They love him.
He's like the lingering shit in your ass that won't leave. Him and Bruce both.
Jesus.
Like just get out.
Pause.
Like
pause,
bro. They are lingering, bro.
Second one of the show. Pause.
That's interesting way to put it.
That sounds like something Jake would say.
Who do you think is more out of touch, Bruce Prichard or Michael?
You know, actually, I take
Michael.
back my
Michael
pause.
Hayes.
You're right. If I had thought of that, I probably would have said it. You're right.
You said Michael Hayes, or you rather keep Bruce Prichard or Michael Hayes?
Yes, Bruce Prichard still has good ideas, somewhat. So he has more than Michael PSA. Michael is just out of touch. He fucking didn't want Chelsea. He didn't think Chelsea could be a world champion, man. Get this.
That's crazy.
Get him out of here.
I think that was look he played.
I think that's true.
What do you mean?
He's.
Why do you think it was played?
You think that was a work?
Just to garner sympathy for Chelsea when the time comes.
And where'd that come? And where'd that go? What they doing with that now?
It could be next week.
Second season came out. And they showed her house.
Nice house, yeah.
Nice house. Very nice house. I see why Matt had to.
He has
quit
turned
the
baby
Indies.
since, you know. It's all about
Is she a
timing.
baby face? Yeah, because her and Tiffany kind of.
Yeah, she did.
Chelsea as GM. Oh my God.
That's a good one. Who said that?
I would love. I did. I
That's
just thought of that.
That's a good one.
That's the payoff. That's the payoff right there.
Chelsea SGM would be good. That could be
That would
entertaining.
be really good.
That'd be funny.
That could be
That'd be
entertaining if done correctly, of course. You know, if
Yeah, they do her. It'd be easy with her though. They don't have to do much. It's easy when you don't have to do much. And you don't have to script so much bullshit.
Yeah.
All right, to end off the show, we're gonna do another little draft here. We're gonna do a SummerSlam match card draft. We'll do 5 matches individually between us 5.
All time.
See who can draft the best SummerSlam matches of all time, and you guys let us know who you feel has the best roster. So,
okay.
Starting off with me, I've already spoke about what I think is the GOAT SummerSlam match, so I'm going to take Shawn Michaels versus Triple H at SummerSlam 2002.
Nice, and I'm going to keep it moving, and I'll go 2013 CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar.
Nice.
Fair.
I'll take TLC. I don't mind it. I know it's not as good as TLC.
2000, right? Just to clarify.
Yeah, okay. but as far as SummerSlam matches go, love it.
Yeah, give me Bulldog Bret Hart 92. Classic.
I'll take John Cena, AJ Styles 2016.
I'll go. Give me Gunther Punk last year.
Interesting.
Yummy.
I'll take Cena Bryan 2013.
Oh fuck! I fucked that up. Damn it.
Give me Ray Kurt 2002. Best opener ever.
Let me brainstorm here. I got a few options here. Let me get Edge Undertaker SummerSlam 08. I want to sell.
Give me Kurt Angle versus Stone Cold 2001.
Did Angle Lesnar 03 already get taken?
Nope.
I'll take Angle Lesnar 03.
Give me. I took that one. Let me see what Khali match I can take.
Yo, he's Mr. SummerSlam. Triple H, Kane,
Batista.
I knew there was one more. I couldn't think of it.
Give me. I'll go something recent. You know what? Give me Cena Cody from last year.
I'm gonna take what I think is one of the best SummerSlam main events. I'm gonna take Brock Rock SummerSlam 02.
So good, such a good match.
Give me Cena. Rollins 15.
Ooh.
Oh, John Stewart. Yeah, cool.
John Stewart. Yeah.
That's
What
still a
year-
good match.
Was it not? Was it? I think it was 95. They did the ladder rematch with Razor and
Razor and Shawn. Yeah.
I'll take Razor Shawn.
Oh, that's a good one.
Damn.
So you got 2 good ones on me.
Should I go with the dodgeball match with the Divas?
Could.
Give me. Man, that was good, but I don't think that was her best one. Give me. I'm blanking on good ones, like really good ones. Trying to find a hidden gem, but I can't think of any like hidden. Did someone say Cena Bryan?
I did.
Yeah, Jay did after I did. Gunther.
They did. Okay.
Yep.
You know what? Give me the one that's not the best in ring work, but the one of the most unique matches is very historic. Give me Cena Brock 14.
Prolonged squash.
Last pick for me. I'll take I have two options here. I'll take the custody ladder match: Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio, SummerSlam 05.
I'll cap it off with the ladder match from 09, Jeff Hardy versus CM Punk.
TLC. That was good.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm honestly shocked this one has lasted so long, but with my last pick, if it's still available, I'll take Brett and Owen cage match 94.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Overrated.
Whoa. Story for another time, my brother.
Oh my God, overrated is crazy.
Good match, wrong winner.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Give me, fuck it, man. We're gonna go something that was just crazy and something that you never thought would have ever happened. Give me Ric Flair and Mick Foley.
Oh, that shit was fire.
Oh wow, yeah, that was great.
That's a bad finish for Melina.
That's a dark horse. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a crazy hidden gem right there. That's a crazy hidden gem. That was a good one.
That was a great build. That was crazy.
That was a good one. That was even though those guys were old, that was a very
So many great SummerSlam matches. It's a shame we're about to get the ads that we're about to get.
Perfect should have been drafted. That's a good one.
Brett Perfect is a good one. Somebody said Taker Brett 97. That's a good one.
Hell of a good one.
Rockin' Triple H and
didn't Austin and Angle have a good one at some point?
Yeah, I picked that one.
He took that one.
Okay.
01.
Yep.
Fatal 4-Way. Nobody took that one.
Well, yeah.
Roman and Brock, the last man standing match. That
was good. I was going to take that one, but I took Cena.
There's a lot of good SummerSlam matches out there that we had. So, somebody said Gunther and Drew. Gunther Drew was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. I was disappointed.
Yeah, Gunther Drew was all right. It wasn't terrible, but
the bar was just so high,
Yeah, I expected more from that. I thought it was gonna be a lot better than it was perceived, but it was okay. But hopefully SummerSlam delivers next week. Like we all got mixed feelings about it. Hopefully, I'm just hoping for a good show. I don't want as many ads. I just want to see good wrestling, good stories told, good decisions made. That's all I'm asking for. I don't think it's overcomplicated to ask for too much about that. So make sure you guys subscribe once again. Check out the No Name Podcast. Somebody said AJ versus Samoa Joe. That's crazy.
Wendy.
Good match. Solid match.
Wendy.
That was a crazy time, man. Crazy time.
Yeah.
Kurt versus Ray. I took Kurt and Ray was taken. That was a really good match. Really good opening match. SummerSlam 02 in general
I think we had 3 from SummerSlam 02.
Such a great show.
Yeah, 3 matches were taken from that show because it's a really, really good show. Nobody went to take the 2003 Elimination Chamber.
Man, get out of here, bro. Oh, no one took the first one though.
That's Survivor Series.
Yeah. Never mind.
2003, man. Elimination.
Yeah, get that shit out of here, man. Get that shit out of here.
That was like 9 minutes.
That match was 9 minutes?
Nah, it was pretty short though. It was like 13.
Yeah, I was saying it was like in the teens.
Triple H's bicycle show. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Because
somewhere in the millions though.
Destroyed everybody and then lost. So everybody hated that. A lot of people hated that decision at that time. So I thought it was interesting that they made that choice. But once again, make sure you guys subscribe. We'll be back next week. We're actually going to be doing a watch along for night 1 and night 2 and an instant recap after the show too, man. So make sure you guys tune in for that. We'll be live on Saturday and Sunday doing watch along for SummerSlam, and then we'll do our recap after the both shows end. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Also, we got coming up. We did a couple of many months ago. We did a recap of the 90s, the good and bad of the 90s. So we have episodes coming up. We're gonna recap the 2000s, and then we're gonna do another episode recapping the 2010s. So we'll talk about the good and bad between the 2000s to 2010s, giving our perspectives on some good things, some bad things, some things that we think were overrated, maybe overrated as well. So there's a lot to talk about in them years right there, man. So Ryan, appreciate you for coming on as always.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys
to be a part of the pod. And once again, subscribe. We'll be back next week for the watch along.